Wellington to the shore of Normandy. 250 years of blood and liberty. The founders' words still echo in the breaking of the dawn. We carry all their courage and we swear to carry on. They press those words in parchment with a trembling righteous hand. One nation under God was always how this story began. In the deserts, in the mountains, on the ocean standing tall. Every soldier, every sailor, always ready for the call. 250 years of freedom, 250 years of pride, built on the backs of the brave and the fearless, who kept that star-spangled fire alive. We stand united, undefeated, from sea to shining sea we rise. 250 years of glory, beneath these red, white, and blue skies. A child stands in a classroom, hand upon a beating chest. One nation indivisible, we swear to give our best. With liberty and justice for the many and the few. Those words were never hollow, every syllable rings true. From the playground to the battlefield, the pledge never fades. It lives inside the marching of 1,000 boot-clad shades. In the cities, in the heartland, on the front line, standing proud. Every airman, every Marine, shouting liberty out loud. 250 years of freedom, 250 years of pride, built on the backs of the brave and the fearless, who kept that star-spangled fire alive. We stand united, undefeated, from sea to shining sea we rise. 250 years of glory, beneath these red, white, and blue skies. They raise their right hand skyward with a fire in their eyes, to support and to defend her till the very day they die. Against all enemies foreign and the ones who strike from within. That oath was not just words spoken, it lives beneath the skin. A mother in the Navy and a father in the Guard, a daughter on the front line, every mission long and hard. In God we trust is written on the currency we hold, but deeper still it's written in every brave heart born. 250 years of freedom, 250 years of pride, built on the backs of the brave and the fearless, who kept that star-spangled fire alive. We stand united, undefeated, from sea to shining sea we rise. 250 years of glory, beneath these red, white, and blue skies. In God we trust, through fire, through flood, through every war that calls for blood, through every dawn that broken down. The light of faith never went out. To every soul who gave the last full measure, to every heart still beating on the line. You are the gold inside this nation's treasure. Your sacrifice will echo through all time. The torch is still burning, America keeps turning. 250 years shall not die. 250 years of freedom, 250 years of pride, built on the backs of the brave and the fearless, who kept that star-spangled fire alive. We stand united, undefeated, from sea to shining sea we rise. 250 years of glory, beneath these red, white, and blue skies. One nation under God, and upon our hearts we stand, indivisible and free, sworn to defend this land. America, still standing here. America, loud and clear. 250 years, still burning bright, still burning bright.
Seconds and uses just a fraction of the energy.
In times of trial and uncertainty, when voices clashed and storms would rise, a leader stood with strength and courage, with hope reflected in his eyes. Through criticism and opposition, through every challenge he would face, he carried forward bold conviction and stood with honor in his place. The best U.S. president ever, a leader brave and wise, standing firm for truth and freedom before the watching skies. The best U.S. president ever, a voice the people knew, defending hope and liberty for me and you. He spoke for those whose dreams were fading. He stood for those who longed to rise, with faith that freedom's bright tomorrow still lived beyond the stormy skies. Through battles fought in halls of power, through voices loud both far and near, he held.
Hey, we got about 2.5 left.
The line for liberty and would not bend to fear. The best U.S. president ever, a leader brave and wise, standing firm for truth and freedom before the watching skies. The best U.S. president ever, a voice the people knew, defending hope and liberty when trials appear and guide the path of liberty with vision bright and clear. The best U.S. president ever. A leader proud and strong, defending faith and liberty where they belong. The best U.S. president ever. May history tell it true that President Donald John Trump built a brighter path for me and you. For me and you.
God bless America. 611 or 911, whatever that 1111 today is. Something marker today. One Canada one for our Canadian friends. Four minutes. Can't find any Australia.
From ancient hands, a breath is born. A maple leaf takes flight at dawn.
Oh, all right.
Across the
Take care of that,
peaks
Final.
where eagles soar, the spirit calls from shore to shore. Fly, oh fly, my Canada, through mountain, plain, and northern lights. One flame of red, one heart of gold, forever young, forever bold. From ocean west to ocean east, through standing stone
2 minutes.
and silver feast, 10 provinces and territories free. Each tower whispers Canada's name. Fly, oh fly, my Canada, through mountain, plain, and northern lights. One flame of red, one heart of gold, forever young, forever bold. Upon the hill where towers stand, the fire returns into the land. One leaf, one flag, one beating heart. We rise together, we won't fly, oh fly, my Canada, forever proud, forever
Okay, happy Canada to our Canada friends there. I'll try to mix it up a little bit each day if I go different videos. Um, so I took Chico to the park. The humidity was dropped. It's really nice out, and so I said we were outside about a half hour. So he's just tired out. So I wrote on my post. I don't normally go to two shows on Saturday, but I got like 10 important videos I got to get out to you guys. They're really, really important. I think we got to play. So we'll divide it up. I'm going to do some short ones for about a half hour. And then the first one I'm going to, did everybody get to see that Billy Bean one that was 37? That was an important one, I think it was off of News Force too, I think. But there was a raid. She did a video with on a raid they did. So we're gonna do that first big video. Then we'll do well after we do the shorts first, and then that one first, and then we're gonna do Nick Shirley hour video. Then do a couple short ones. Then the third one, we'll probably do Captain. Oh wait, the third one or the second one, we have to do Mel. The third one will be Nick Shirley, followed by Captain Kyle. So that's four. So one video at a time, and we'll see how things go. We're going to get a lot of important stuff out today. Hopefully something will happen, and we got a birthday today, our Aunt Karen's birthday. She doesn't come in much, so hopefully I want to play her video when she comes in chat. I think she does. I think she got to go somewhere today. Happy birthday, Aunt. And okay. Share, is that okay? Is it Sherry? Thank you. I do my best. It's been a long time. It's been a long haul. 6 years. I try to get out as much as I can before I get sick, and then if I get sick, I come back on. So appreciate the support. We like to ask what state are people from. Is this your first time in chat? We got people all over the world. We come in chat. We got Denmark, friends from Australia, and Spain. A few other ones that were far away. I think Argentina. I think we had one. Switzerland. So we're a small channel, but we're getting the truth out. All right, so we're going to go get started here. Hopefully, we'll get everybody in. Okay, I think I remember you. Now I remember you, I think. It's been a long time. I don't know if you knew I lost my parents to 2024. They both got health issues. And another reason what my channel helps everybody, heal. It healed me by doing this show every day. And I couldn't even go to my mom's funeral because my anxiety was really bad. We got a lot of support. All the people I met on here. I got contact numbers to reach out to people, but I helped out a lot of people, and still going to continue. Yep. Hey, good to see you again. And during the week, it's going to be 3 o'clock. 3 to my old time used to be 3 o'clock. I'm gonna go like 3 to 6 during the week. But I got a lot of good stuff I want to get out today. Good videos. And today must be another marker, so I don't know. Hey, Fine Eagle, did you see about Trump getting canceling all his notification or appointments. Cause something with the plane he was on and stuff. And Mel has some good stuff on her page too. I'm going to share. The airport's named after Trump now. So Mel had that. Thanks, KK. Did you get Chico's video? I got a lot of good videos. I talked to Lucy this morning. So you remember Sherry? Yeah, I think I remember Sherry. It's been a long time. Sounds good. Hey, Valoriella. Yeah, Chico's out cold. He's tired out. So we are going to do the shorts for a bit, and then we're going to do Billy Bean's 37-minute one for the other day because I think it's a good one that we should play. And we play every single one, and we didn't play that one yet. And then she came out with the 7-minute one. A recap, okay, I told them Billy first, and then I guess we'll do Mel for second, and then Nick Shirley third, Captain Kyle fourth, and then a few other big ones I got. But we're going to divide it up, and so be careful. The humidity is really low today, so it's not too bad. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. There was also another jet went down, Brian Eagle. Did you see that jet go down? Oh, yeah, Kay. There's a night race tonight. They're in Atlanta tonight. So let's remind you.
Oh, black smoke.
They knew it was coming as well because they were already on there.
Flight cancelled.
What you guys think of that?
At least he got out of the jet. The fighter jet just crashed on the fighter jet. Just crashed on. Oh my god! Whoa! He's just running.
Yeah, I heard.
He was
Oh, yeah, Sherry.
How did I not see it? How did I see it? I just saw it fall over when I looked out the window. I saw it going past and it had like a little wind catch thing. Yeah. We're not doing it. I was fine. That's really good.
Give you what I wanted. Where's Rockstar? There she is.
Look, a fighter jet just crashed on the runway. Yeah. On the runway.
So that was yesterday. Yeah, Sherry, my friend Auntie, she doesn't come in very much, but she lurks and she told me what's been going on. She hasn't been on for like 6 days. Then we got some chemtrails, you guys. Chemtrails. We got about a 2 minute one. Or something, whatever they're showing here. Interesting stuff here, you guys. Sounds good, Kay. Be careful out there. Oh, 1313, you guys. Interesting off angle. Clouds. And Kay, Flying Eagle said you get free Slurpee, so you can go get us all Slurpee today while you're out. The next one is 5 minutes. 5 minutes. A weather report.
Holy! God! I fucking got it. Holy
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, would you look at the...
Pretty wild, huh, Flying Eagle?
I just got that on record! Holy fucking shit!
Woo!
Holy crap!
Our street is starting to flood.
Holy shit! What the fuck?
Wow. Recording live in the backyard.
I know, it seems super hard right now. We're almost there. We're almost finished. Come on, keep going. Come on, pick up the pace a bit. That's it. Just a keep going. Keep going. Come on. Everything. Come on. We're almost there. I can see the end. Keep on. Keep
Not
going.
over.
You've got this. Come on, that last sprint. Last sprint. Quicker. Come on. That's it, just like that.
Nope. Oh!
So you've got this. Come on now.
That was a wild one. So the next 10 clips are only a minute one, but there might be a 5-minute one. It's our lady that we always play. She was missing for a couple of days, so she got quite a bit out. And then we'll play Billy one, 37-minute one.
Nine candles. It actually used to be 7. The traditional menorah that was used in temples had 7 branches, which symbolizes creation. The 9-branched version of it is used for Hanukkah. It has 8 holders for the 8 nights of the miracle oil, and the 9th middle candle, which is used to light all the other candles. The menorah's design, which is described in the Bible, has 7 branches. And this design was given to Moses by God on Mount Sinai, which is explained in Exodus chapter 25, verses 31 through 40. This represented the divine wisdom of God. And we know that the number 7 is sacred in Jewish traditions. It represents divine perfection and completeness. Now, each candle on the menorah holds a symbolic meaning. They represent the 7 days of creation, with the middle candle representing the Sabbath, which was the day of rest. It is known as the shamash, or the servant candle, because it is used to light all the other candles. Now I want to read Revelation chapter 1, verses 16 through 20. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength. The mystery of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches. And that can be explained as a menorah, the 7 candlesticks, just like this. Now, when looking at a menorah, the first 4 lamps are placed pointing left, just as the Old Testament narrative is in Hebrew and Aramaic, read from right to left. The remaining 3 lamps are reversed, pointing back to the middle lamp, which I believe represents Jesus Christ, because he is our Sabbath, the servant lamp. And after the revealing of the Messiah, Jesus Christ, the New Testament writers wrote in Greek from left to right. Anyways, I thought that was interesting, so I figured I'd share.
Okay, that's the first one.
Live or die. Doctors share top concerns of AI surrogates aiding life or death decisions. For more than a decade, researchers have wondered whether artificial intelligence could help predict what incapacitated patients might want when doctors must make life or death decisions on their behalf. As AI improves, some experts increasingly see it as inevitable that digital clones of patients could one day aid family members, doctors, and ethic boards in making end-of-life decisions that are aligned with patient values and goals. As of now, no hospital has yet deployed so-called AI surrogates, but one AI researcher is aiming to change that and is taking the first steps toward piloting AI surrogates at a U.S. medical facility. The main limitation of this testing, the researcher said, is that he can only verify the accuracy of these models if patients survive and can later confirm that the model made the right choice. But this is just the first step. His current models are focused on analyzing data that HarborView already collects, such as injury severity, medical history, prior medical choices, and demographic information. He stated they have not enrolled any patients at HarborView at the moment. And I don't know about y'all, but this kind of makes me nervous. I feel like I've seen this in a movie somewhere. And when it comes to elderly in nursing homes or in the community, they usually have a form that they have what they want done, and if they want to be resuscitated or not. But for the younger population, I could see this actually happening. They're already in talks of making a digital twin for everybody. So I'm sure this will be attached to your digital ID. If you become incapacitated, your digital twin will make your decisions for you.
Hey, I'll come back to finish off her other 8-1. Mind you, I got a new 7-minute Derek Johnson on TikTok. I'll get in real quick.
My service beyond my service, and it ain't about me, but that's what every individual is supposed to be doing. But you got to know what the commander's working with. And you see all these other people out there spinning all these narratives all the time. They're not even listening to the man they claim to support. You got to listen to the commander. He's not firing off at the hip when he posts up laws and orders. You got to know the laws and orders. And you don't have to be a lawyer to know the laws and orders. That's another thing that Americans got in trouble with the past 60 and 70 years. You put too much trust into names and titles and congressmen and women, and you don't even know their role in jobs. They work for us. They represent us. If I hired one of you to represent me, then you're supposed to go around saying what I want you to say. Or you shouldn't work for me.
Okay, Flaggo.
So that's what Congress is supposed to do. So anytime a liberal uses the Constitution as their basis and foundation, they look dumber than a box of turtle hair. That's the worst thing they could use as their foundation to stand on. Because the Constitution was written for us to keep Congress in check. They represent us. So you had to have a man come in who was willing to put his name, brand, face, everything on there and say, yes, I'll sign this. Yes, I'll take this. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll be the face of this operation. This is Congress, bipartisan, but not in a constitutional manner. It's constitutional in another manner. This is why it's hairline. You got to listen. But a military occupation, a military operation, continuity of government, that means the Constitution's been suspended. That happened way back in 2020. If it didn't, the liberals wouldn't have been talking about it way back when. Oh, he says he's going to terminate the Constitution. No, it's the wrong terminology. There's a suspension clause, Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2 of the Constitution that they like to use in their mouth, but they don't know anything about the Constitution. And guess what Article 1 is? Legislative branch. Not President Trump. That's the legislative branch who suspends the Constitution. So see, you got to know this stuff. And so my point is all I talk about are laws and orders that outline what President Trump's doing, not laws and orders, period. I outlined the blueprint. That's why you, the people, gave me #1 best-selling books, is because I took it and put it in one setting, chronological order of how President Trump pulled it off, but pulling in special operations and how special operations pulled it off lawfully. It's that simple. So what I teach people is how you escape all the drama and propaganda and all the flapping gums out there who just want to be a name and a face. All right, I'm not afraid to say something to some of them, depending on what it is. I try not to be offensive, meaning on the offense, but I'll defend myself. But sometimes there needs to be called out. You people, some of you are getting tripped up by a pre-plan. All right, and so that's what we're going to talk about. But what I do is teach people how you escape all that, how you know exactly what's going on with the foundation. Now, there's some things that you're not going to know because it's part of a mission still. All right, so the military occupation, military government, continuity of government doesn't mean you're exempt from things not happening. It means that there's a parameter that's been set, and the military has control of that, and they're not going to let it go past those parameters. But we, the people, have to fight for it as well. They just set the playground for us to fight. And I have to say, they got to be pretty, I mean, they got to be pretty disappointed to see some of the Americans, the way the Americans are responding out there. Looks atrocious, especially people who claim to be President Trump supporters. Look atrocious, especially after President Trump posted something on his page, and you got all these idiots out there, blue badges, saying, oh, you got to know the difference in a post and a repost. There's no difference. If I reposted something of yours on my page, that means I'm looking at your page and I want my people to see what you posted. That's how stupid Americans have become.
There you are. Let's see. I played those 3 music ones. Then I did a little the other ones, and then I'm getting ready to do the 37-minute Billy from the other day, followed by Nell's hour and Nick's hour. Hi, Mom.
And I know people don't like the word stupid, but it goes back. Stupid games get stupid prizes. So if you look the part, then you should be called out for looking the part. If it strikes a nerve, then it probably is hitting a nerve. That if something strikes a nerve with you, and that probably means you're doing exactly what's the results of being called out for. So President Trump gave everybody a visual. A year and 7 months before November the 5th, 2024, he put 45-47 on his ball cap, not by recommendation, and it definitely wasn't me. He put that on his ball cap. He's telling the whole world, I'm not only was your 45th president, I'm your 46th in a wartime president, unique laws and orders. He put that out April the 2nd, which was Liberation Day this year. He put it April the 2nd, 2023. That's when it was on his websites. So he's also claiming 47 a year and 7 months before 47 actually happened. You know how bold and cocky that would be? You know how stupid he would look if that did not take place? You know how stupid that would be if he put that out on the ball cap? No president's ever done this before. No president campaigning's ever put out that, oh, I'm going to be your 42nd president. Oh, I'm going to be your 38th president. No president's ever done that before. You know how bold and cocky that is in another way if I didn't know what I know? But you know how stupid he would look if that didn't take place? Come on, people. Come on, patriots. Come on, President Trump supporters. How can you support a man that you don't even listen to? How can you love a man but then turn around and go, I don't know about this guy. I don't know about Derek Johnson. I don't know about Rattletrap. I mean, he just keeps I'm not prolonging anything. It's validated every day. All these patriots here know that. It's validation every day. And everything in my books has been printed. And my books stem from the documents that were printed January 2021. There's stuff in there that's just now taking place right now. That's already been in there all this time. And I didn't just write them in 2021. I wrote that over the course of 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, right? I put it all in one location. And then they were sitting there all that time from January 2021, timestamp. But I didn't go viral, globally viral on Facebook until August 24, 2022. But all that stuff in there, the documents.info. Some of the links don't work. But like President Trump said, they're going to be deleting stuff because they're trying to get rid of evidence because it's public.
Okay, that's his newest one that just came out an hour ago. All right, we're going to get that 37-minute Philly bean out. So have your beverage and snacks there.
Time to manage orders and delivery.
Welcome to Truth by Billy Bean. Today's date, July 9, 2026. Time in Texas about 3 p.m. And thanks for subscribe, and share, and especially for hitting the like button. That really helps my channel. Some of the things we'll cover: FBI, bust a fraudster, President Trump, Iran missed. And we have Iran described as a death cult. I couldn't agree more. The U.S. military has hit 170 targets. Ukraine, according to one source, only has 2 months to go. So let's get started. So we have New York Prepper reporting this afternoon. We have 2 U.S. nuke command and control planes up. No, several more. We have one up over, I believe it's Nebraska, Montana, one going out over the Gulf of America. And New York Prepper reports President Trump returned today from his NATO summit meeting in Ankara, Turkey, and that since 1 o'clock today, most likely that would be Washington time, he's been in a sit rep to receive the latest intel. What's going on with Iran, since there is some evidence that Iran tried to take President Trump out on his return trip from Ankara. Iran missed. And we have this from Tusi TV that he's talking about Europe and the cost to Europe since this Middle East situation has begun is not only directly related to them receiving oil from the Middle East and in their energy segment, but also from the billions they've been losing from Iran, since Iran uses European banks apparently to launder their money they receive from selling oil under U.S. sanctions. And the U.S. European banks also launder Iran's money that Iran receives through its cartel associations, directing and facilitating drugs to Europe. So that's going on. And we have this. We have also Mark Carney of Canada seeking to make money through his association with the EU and NATO. And that's by Europe parking their money in Canadian banks, one designed for Europe,
Lucy, you remember,
and one designed for Ukraine. So that's going on. And it's noted, I believe Promethean Update brought this out, the EU goals for Europe are green energy. I hear these people on TV from Europe, because I often tune in to European news, talking about green energy and how it's going to save so much money. But apparently these European spokespeople, well, they're just spokespeople, but I'm sure they're not receiving the information that many of these green energy devices can't operate without fossil fuel. But they do say that, yeah, and we can replace fossil fuel with green energy, you know, like windmills and electric vehicles and so on, which is not true. So they want green energy. They want open borders. Send us all of your rapists and terrorists, and we'll put them on our European welfare system. Well, we see the U.S. Finally, under President Trump, saying, get out. And I also notice from alternate sources that the people in Europe also don't want open borders. But another goal of the EU is free trade. Yeah, we don't want tariffs. We want to flood your country with our cheap products and deprive your people of good jobs. This is all part of a new world order goal list. And we see Europe in the grips of this propaganda. So that's going on. And we have this from Mary Greeley talking about a collapsing building in New York City. It's downtown, Pfizer Tower. Now, they were doing renovations there, trying to renovate the building from Pfizer's moved from that location years ago. So the new owners want to renovate it from office space to residential apartments. And somehow or another,
Michigan needs conservative leaders who will fight for us. Andrew Beeler will do exactly that. He will support farmers, fight to lower costs, and stand firm to protect the Second Amendment. Vote Andrew Beeler for State Senate.
Someone told me rinsing produce only removes about 20% of what's actually on it, and I genuinely didn't believe them. Then my friend watched me rinse strawberries under the tap and just shook her head. She works in food safety.
Someone made very critical mistakes inside the building by removing the load-bearing pillars. And now, high up, I think 21st to 25th floor is collapsing. People have been evacuated and they're out. But that's going on. We have this from Stephen Gardner. The FBI made another bust of a fraudster, Brian Rowland, 47, who had a fake skin graft business. And I believe this was in eastern U.S. He built the government out of $8.58 billion Medicaid fraud. He's been arrested, and he had cohorts, and up to 10 to 15 of them had already been arrested. Some of them have gone through their trials, and they're now receiving 15-year jail sentences. Prison sentences, actually. So that's going on. We have this also from Stephen Gardner. Toyota in Mexico is moving to Texas, which will bring good paying 2,000 jobs. Way to go, President Trump. We have this from MonkeyWorks. MonkeyWorks doesn't believe, recently when President Trump went to the NATO summit meeting, he mentioned selling F-35s to Turkey. I don't know how serious he was there. I will make this observation. I believe when the U.S. military begins to sell advanced U.S. planes or license to manufacture Patriot missiles, which I understand is going to Ukraine. I believe when the U.S. military does this, it's because there's a certain amount of obsolete technology involved. However, I believe that MonkeyWorks has a good point. The F-35, as he explained it on his most recent show, phenomenal technology. So Monkey doesn't believe Turkey should be sold the F-35s because in 2019, Turkey bought the S-400 air defense system from Russia. And part of that system is to detect stealth planes like the F-35. Now, I do agree with Monkey Works that it often is not a good idea to sell our most advanced technology to other countries. But we'll see. And we have this. Stephen Gardner recently interviewed retired Colonel Tony Schaefer, who brought out a position that I thoroughly agree with, saying that on July 7, Iran hit 85 locations of its Gulf states' neighbors. We've seen the U.S. and Iran exchanging hits July 7, July 8. Today will be the third day, July 9. Retired Colonel Tony Schaefer brings out a significant point. I've brought it out in previous videos also. But he describes the mullahs, and I would submit, I believe this would also include the IRGC, as a death cult. And at the heart of the Islam religion, as practiced by many groups, is their desire. I mean, this is one of their religious beliefs. It's embedded in their book, the Quran, that they need to bring the world into World War III and make sure it's nuclear. To bring about World War III, to bring back their Messiah figure, Mahdi, and then Islam can rule the world. I submit this is a heavily propagandized group from the standpoint of religion, totally brainwashed to put forth what they say is a religious belief. Most likely, this is a twisting of the words in the Quran, brought about by New World Order.
About 18
But when
minutes,
you do this
guys.
for 7
18
seconds, it
minutes.
all comes out effortlessly.
This is the quickest
It
way to
must be
clear out stuck
halfway.
poop.
I'm going to show.
Individuals who have infiltrated the Islam religion. But that describes perfectly in Iran, the mullahs, the IRGC. Now, many people say Iran cannot be allowed to get a nuke. It's been my belief for many years that Iran already has nukes. And that's why this hardline group in Iran doesn't want to come to a nuclear agreement with the U.S., and they definitely don't want the IAEA in there snooping around. So that's going on. And we have this, and that's another reason why I have put forth, I mean, when you go to war, you need to go to war to crush your enemy. That should be the objective in war. And you will find that there are some groups who cannot be reasoned with. In this case, the mullahs and the IRGC have been propagandized, brainwashed by religious ideology, and pose a threat to America, to Israel, and to the world. Wake up, Europe. With regard to using nukes. There's nothing restraining this group in Iran from using the nukes that they have. It could be possible also that the nukes were kept in secret locations, and that when the U.S. and Israel went in on the first day of this conflict, February 28, and took out many mullahs and IRGC, that they killed the individuals who know the secret location of the nukes. But I also firmly believe that the U.S. Military, Russia's military, maybe Chinese, is able to locate those nukes wherever they are. But apparently, because I see the U.S. Wants to conquer Iran, and then the U.S. will put boots on the ground, I submit. It's a possibility the secret nuke locations are buried so deeply that we can't pick them up from space. So we'll see. So my point is, when you have irrational individuals who pose an existential threat to themselves, their people, surrounding countries, and the world, you simply have to neutralize them. That's the only effective way, which retired Colonel Tony Schaefer also put forth. Yeah, that's the way to go. So we have this, and we have this information coming out also from Colonel Schaefer, that there are 4 power groups in Iran who are all fighting against one another, and only one of the groups has guns. That's the IRGC. So maybe it's logical to simply take out the IRGC. Reckon? So that's going on. We have this from U.S. Intel. The U.S. has hit many targets July 8 and in Iran, including 6 South Iran locations. So in the south of Iran, we have the Strait of Hormuz. So it appears the U.S. military is now trying to take out all of the IRGC military bases, marine control towers, anything that enables Iran to know what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz and then to target ships. So that's going on. So the U.S. has hit Bandar Abbas, Chabahar, Qasem Island, Sirak, Kandahar, as well as Abu Musa Island, and Iran Shir Airport. So that's going on. The U.S. has also hit railroads in North Iran and also hit Gorgan, Aquavia,
Okay, we got 20
and
minutes left.
also hit, has begun to hit bridges. We heard about one power plant on the north of Iran along the border with Pakistan. They've also hit Akhtal Khan Bridge and also in Gorgan railroads. So that's going on. And we have this late last night, about 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The U.S. military was still making hits. They still had up in the air dozens of U.S. planes and refuelers. So that's going on. And we saw Iran also hitting Jordan, a U.S. military base. We have this from U.S. Intel, that the U.S. has hit Chabahar in southeast Iran, and also near Bashir nuclear power plant, and Avaz, that is the oil location for the Kronez province. So we see the U.S. also hitting oil locations. And we have this, the IRGC, I believe 2CTV put this out. The IRGC is releasing videos, but they only show the video of their launches, not where.
Welcome, Brian. This is the one that we didn't play the other day because I got behind on Intel. So this is Thursdays, and then I got a new one from last night. It's 7 minutes, and yeah, we're a little behind on Billy. My next one's going to be the 7, and then Nell's video from last night, or new one that come out on Friday. It's going to be an hour, and I got a Nick Shirley hour, and a bunch of other ones. I'll probably do 2 shows today. Is this your first time in chat? And just like to know what state you're from. Thank you. Thanks for coming in. Let's be respectful. Thank you.
They have hit their targets. And we have this, that, Iran has, since July 7, hit many of its Gulf states' neighbors, including Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan, Qatar, plus. And that U.S. planes are making hits around the Bashir nuclear power plant that is staffed by Russia. So the U.S. is not trying to hit the nuclear power plant. Instead, near the nuclear power plant, Iran has military bases. That's what the U.S. is hitting. And the U.S. is hitting further inland in Iran, near Shiraz, where they're hitting IRGC's main military bases, and also making hits in Kermanshah.
Look at this. My package finally arrived.
What do you mean by that, Brian?
Seriously, no dentist appointment needed, and these bionic gums are super flexible. It looks absolutely natural, and it's even FDA certified. Oh my God, it's just amazing. I'm absolutely in love.
No matter if your teeth are intact, partially missing, or if you have.
And we have this. Yeah, the U.S. military in North Iran is taking out bridges and railroads. And we also are doing this at the same time that Iran nationals, a Kurds group based in Iraq, that had come from Iraq to far western Iran, the Zagros Mountains were on the ground, and we don't know the number of them. Some speculate it could be thousands, who are now coming in, and the U.S. is supplying them with intel, and they are making a ground invasion. And we have this, that it's being reported by 2CTV on July 8th, yesterday. 3 IRGC commanders were neutralized in North Iran. So that's going on. The U.S. is also making hits in Iran, deep in Iran, north, east, and west, as well as along their southern coast. We have this from Max Afterburner, that the U.S., so Max came out with this morning, and this would be the hits in the last 48 hours, July 7 and 8. The U.S. has hit 170 targets inside Iran. And we have today, July 9, the U.S., we understand, is currently also again hitting Iran. And that we see Iran hitting its Gulf states neighbors, not military locations such as U.S. bases, but hitting civilian hotels and airports. It's believed the Iran strategy is to make life so miserable for its Gulf states neighbors that they will prevail upon the U.S. to stop. I got this to say. Since Iran, it appears, made a direct assassination attempt on President Trump's plane, in which he may have flown back to the U.S. from the NATO summit, I don't see anything good coming to Iran, nor do I see the U.S. engaging in any more talks. That's going on. This is the largest U.S. military strike on Iran since February 28. And we have this. So we have, Dialogue Works interviewed today Andrei Martynov. Andrei Martynov was a Russian military officer who came to the U.S. 20-something years ago and became an American citizen. I believe that Andrei Martynov most likely does have some intel. And he says, so Dialogue Works host said he had heard that Iran had a hypersonic missile that could hit Israel in 6 minutes. Andrei Martynov says Iran does not have hypersonic missiles, but they do have some very fast ballistic missiles. So that's going on. And Andrei Martynov, according to my interpretation of the video, implied that Europe or NATO individuals had given Iran some type of intel. It's about the 1249 mark. So that's going on. We have this from Israeli News Live. Now, Stephen Bannon, former CIA, he's Jewish. He was also a former commander in the IDF and has good intel contacts in Israel, Iran, and other Middle Eastern countries. But I had also heard bits and pieces about this from other sources.
12 minutes.
So Stephen Bannon puts out on Israeli News Live today that the reason one of the older Air Force One planes was flown to...
If you sit more than 6 hours a day, you need this cushion. I bought this ergonomic memory foam seat cushion thinking it would just...
Turkey. President Trump had flown to Turkey in the new modified Qatar plane he had received. I believe at the beginning of the second term, it had been completely stripped and then rebuilt and painted. I think it's in red, white, and blue. But while President Trump was at the NATO summit, the intel group of Turkey advised President Trump that something was wrong with that modified Qatari plane. So one of the older Air Force Ones was flown to Turkey to bring him back. Now, that completely explains why President Trump went off the deep end on Iran while he was at the summit. I believe it was presented to him from the intel group of Turkey that Iran had tried to put, a bomb or something on that new modified Qatari plane, which he would have used to fly back if the good intel services of Turkey had not advised President Trump of this, what appears to be an assassination attempt, and I fully believe it was by Iran. But that would directly correlate to President Trump then beginning to say the things he has said about Iran while he was at the NATO summit. So Iran, with regard to President Trump, you missed. But guess what? I don't believe the U.S. military is going to miss. Nope, I don't think so. We have this. Right. And so we have this also from New York proper, that, yes, the U.S. is continuing their strikes on Iran today, and that Iran continues to hit their Gulf states' neighbors. Today, this morning, July 9, Iran made another hit on Jordan. Of course, Iran hitting Jordan, they're trying to destroy the U.S. military base there.
We've got 8 minutes left. 8
And also that President Trump, since 1 o'clock today, has been in a sit-rep since he returned from his NATO trip. Now we'll talk about Ukraine and Russia. So we have from Deep Dive, who interviewed a Russian expert who lives in Russia, Stanislav Kapernik, talking about Russia now being in Ukraine 5 kilometers or a few miles from a major urban city, Sumy, and that Ukraine's front line near Sumy is about 5 to 6 kilometers or about an hour and a half from Sumy. And we have that the Russian military is trying to take out the Ukraine logistics hub located near Sumy. And that the Russian military advances from Kramatorsk, Slavyansk front line. So that's going on. And we have this. It's believed now, as Russia closes in on the Ukraine logistical hub located near the city of Sumy, there's going to be a real problem for the Ukraine military because they don't have a city they can fall back to. Stanislav Kapernik reports that Russian military morale is very high, and that Russia is bringing in 350,000 reserves to rotate out many Russian military, and that the Russian military generally stay on the front line 3 to 6 months. It is noted that Ukraine's drone technology is certainly impressive.
Earth's best new big kid snacks are baked with good stuff. So whatever their next adventure, we've got their backs.
And that this is coming out. The ratio of Russian soldiers dying to the number of Ukraine soldiers dying. At the beginning of the conflict in 2022, it had been 1 Russian to 8 Ukraine. Now, Stanislav Kapernik puts this forth, it's 1 to 10. 1 Russian dies for every 10 Ukraine. We have this. Russia recently, in their military, put together a new unit whose sole priority is bringing along drone technology. And the Russian military now uses on their frontline drone unit 3D printers. And they try something and see how it works. If it doesn't work, they throw that one away and 3D print another one. Who knew? New technology. And that Ukraine is being successful in hitting deep inside Russia and hitting many of their oil and gas facilities, which is bringing about a rationing situation inside Russia. And we also see in Crimea that much damage has been done there, and that Ukraine has been successful. So for the Crimea Peninsula, which Ukraine has been successful in taking out their electricity, water, oil and gas. So Russia was trying to restock Crimea using a flotilla of 38 ships and tankers in the Sea of Azov. But for the past 2 nights, July 7 and 8, Ukraine had been successful in taking down 20 of the flotilla. So yes, Ukraine has been successful in using drone technology. We have this from Enforcer that came out, I believe, this morning, that Russia has no diesel. Russia is not going to export diesel. They're short on fuel, and that Crimea is in dire straits. We have this from Military Summary, talking about the advances of Russia and also Ukraine. I find Military Summary a pretty fair source for what's actually going on the ground, rather than taking a side, one or the other. And says that Russia has taken Kramatorsk, Slavyansk. They're moving towards Sumy. They're also making inroads into Kharkiv. And that, but at the same time, he reports Ukraine has gained some ground near the front line of Zaporizhzhia. And now we have this from covert U.S. intel that just came out today. This intel comes from the Czech Republic, July 9 in the morning, that it appears Ukraine may only have 2 more months, which is when Russia will initiate, and I know in October, Russia is mobilizing 1.2 million. Now, this is July. They just immediately mobilized 500,000 to go to Ukraine. Then by September or October, they will fully mobilize 1.2 million more Russian military. And according to this Czech Republic intel, at that time, Russia will declare full-scale war. And what you do in full-scale war is that you go into a nation and you destroy anything that will help their military win, such as oil and gas, electric power plants, water plants, communication locations, and so on. So it appears that Ukraine will have some type of crisis in about 2 months. So now a short prayer. Father, we pray in the name of Jesus, whom many call Yeshua, that you give us fair weather for battle, and that you crush our enemies, and that you blind our enemies to our military moves. And we say thank you, God the Father, God the Son, Jesus, whom many call Yeshua, and God the Holy Spirit. I say to my family and friends, remain steady out there, continue to pray. God is in charge, and he is on the move. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
All right, that's the first big video. That was Thursday's Billy. Last night she came out with an 8-minute one. So far today she hasn't come out yet. So we'll play last night, and then we're going to get to a couple short ones, and then we'll get to Nick Shirley's video. Oh wait, no, Mel's video. miles an hour.
Of you know, he is currently still in the hospital, at least based upon the Capitol Hill police presence outside of George Washington Hospital. So he was hospitalized in this same institution back in February when he was experiencing flu-like symptoms, and he was also in the ICU. Then it's safe to assume he may also be in the ICU now. Again, the rumors here at Capitol Hill is that he was or is experiencing and battling leukemia, which could explain some of his symptoms that we have seen over the past several months and years. So with that being said, unfortunately, unlike the President of the United States, there's no way to expel a member of Congress outside of their own misconduct from Congress, meaning that we would need to essentially wait for Senator Mitch McConnell to either resign on his own or to pass away. Now, the problem is if he is incoherent, if he is incapable of actually making that decision, again, we have to wait until essentially he passes away. So I reached out to Representative Thomas Massie, who recently lost his reelection campaign in the House, to find out through his comms teams if he'd be willing to go on record, if he could potentially be one of the candidates in a special election should we see Senator Mitch McConnell either resign or pass away and this special election be held in Kentucky. So I'll let you know as soon as I hear back from Representative Thomas Massie's team. But there is the potential we could see Massie as the senator for Kentucky, basically serving out the remainder of Mitch McConnell's term here in the Senate at the end of the 119th Congress. So we could potentially see a Senator Massie if he does go for this special election, and obviously if Mitch McConnell does either resign or pass away within the next few months. So I'll keep all of you updated. Hopefully.
Well, this is the 7-minute one.
And especially for hitting the like button. That really helps my channel. Some of the things we'll cover. President Trump is not going to allow Iran to close the Strait of Hormuz. And the U.S. military is prepping a B slap to Iran. And just this afternoon, the U.S. military positioned the Bush and Lincoln carriers, it appears, as bait. So we'll talk about it. And Mandami, the Muslim Dem socialist mayor of New York City, tried to arrange an illegal secret meeting with Iran. So let's get started. So we have this coming out from Dabu 77 that Operation B-Slap, that's an unofficial name being used among the U.S. military and U.S. government, is being prepped for Iran, which may result in the U.S. military bombing Iran for days or even weeks. This is because President Trump will not allow Iran closing the Strait of Hormuz. And we have this from U.S. Intel, just came out a little while ago. The U.S. military has repositioned the USS Bush carrier and the USS Lincoln carrier very close to Iran It's being speculated by military analysts. It appears the U.S. is positioning their carriers as bait for Iran because they're being placed very close to Iran without destroyers. The Bush is about 106 miles from Iran, and the Lincoln is about 150 miles from Iran. Clearly, both are within striking distance of Iran. I would speculate that the U.S. military has already set up some type of massive multi-prong hit on Iran should Iran respond and try to hit the two carriers. A B slap. We have this from Stephen Gardner. President Trump is going up in the polls while the Dems are going down in the polls, and they are putting forth the Dems, the socialist Dems, let's call it like it is, the commie socialist Dems, are trying to put forth insane platforms, like doing away with all police and taking out the, doing away with the U.S. military, doing away with the Senate, and having the House control both the executive branch, the president, and also all courts, including the Supreme Court. So it appears that the commie socialist Dems want to completely do away with the Constitution, do away with police, the U.S. military, and oh yes, have open borders and allow non-citizens to vote. So that's going on. And we have this from Fox. The socialist Muslim mayor of New York City, Mandami, tried to arrange a secret meeting with the Iran representative to the UN. This was done by Mandami's aide, Anna Maria Achikla. When Secretary of State Marco Rubio found out about it, it was immediately stopped. And this is the second time the U.S. State Department has had face-to-face direct talks with the Dem Muslim mayor, Mandami, that American citizens in certain roles cannot have contact with international representatives nor with foreign countries unless it goes through the State Department. So Secretary of State Marco Rubio is putting this out publicly. Second time for Mandami to be counseled that all contact by American citizens with foreign international representatives has to go through the U.S. State Department. U.S. State Department said this secret arrangement by Mandami's aide to arrange a meeting between Mandami and the Iran representative to the UN is unacceptable and stops short of what is the truth. It's also illegal. So that's going on. And we have this. Yes. So some of the Dems platform, get rid of the Senate, have the House control the executive branch, the president, and all courts, including the Supreme Court, do away with the Constitution, and defund police and the U.S. military. What can we say for communism raising its very ugly head in the U.S. as socialist Democrats? And what about what's going on with the U.S. military apparently setting Iran up? It's good to be in prayer for America, President Trump, the U.S. military, world peace, and world health. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
All right, KK's back. Look out. All right. So that was the 2 completions of the 2 we're caught up with Billy now. So, yeah, Kay, it's a handful while you were gone. Time for Mel. I don't know where Spaz is. This is last night's Mel. 1 hour.
Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. It is Finance Friday. So we're here today. We're going to talk about a couple of different things. And we actually said that we were going to be talking about CBDCs and, of course, interoperability and how all of this starts to come together. And about Web3 was interesting. I had one of my subscribers say, "Is this Web3 got to do with the internet?" And it certainly does. It's, as I said, it's the web connecting everything. So hopefully we can give you a little bit more of an understanding about where and the direction that we're going in the actual banking system. So let's go. The original plan was the central bank digital currency. That was part of that, of course, we know to be the New World Order. That was taken control over by what we assume to be the white hats, so to speak. And they took control of what was to be nefarious and utilized the infrastructure that was already there. And this is this is the hard part about how to verify this clarity, so to speak, when it comes time for, well, how do you know that? Well, Mel goes into the background of the system, and when you start to understand that this was all done through the central banks. And the central banks also have another conglomerate that we know of, and that's called the Bank of International Settlements, and that is basically the overseer of all central banks around the world. So they had to take control of all of that, and they were in control in the sense because of that of course, the World Economic Forum. Now, inside the World Economic Forum, they actually had a token that they had hidden from us, and that token, of course, was that Ripple XRP. And as I explained to many people, but there's a lot of new people, so I'm going to go through this very quickly. XRP was the original concept. It wasn't the original token that they released, but the XRP concept. It's my understanding from my research that they actually had a game within inside of the World Economic Forum that they utilized to get all of these geeks, I suppose you could say, to see if they could hack XRP. And at that point in time, they realized, oopsie, this is not hackable. So they actually stole it, just like they stole all the technology for the med beds and everything else. So people took it upon their own emotion that XRP is bad, and that's why they went to Bitcoin. No, it's actually the opposite to what you actually believe it to be. Just remember, everything is an illusion. We've been indoctrinated so much that we thought, some people assumed that XRP was bad because it was inside the World Economic Forum. Understand that everything that was going to be good was stolen, and that's where they stored it. So when we go to this central bank digital currency, what was to be, or what they were already using, was that of Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin runs on its own railway track, and XRP runs on its track. And of course, in between those two, we have what we call the Ethereum blockchain. And it holds a lot of utilities on that blockchain. So what was to be from the World Economic Forum was to be this central bank digital currency. Now, what happened during this time, it wasn't just the white hats, but we had some very unique people that were part of the World Economic Forum that broke away from the World Economic Forum, and they established BRICS, B-R-I-C-S. Now, originally, when those who broke away from the World Economic Forum to create this new banking system that we know to be the quantum system, it's very interesting that they created their own one world currency group. Okay, and a lot of people get on the bandwagon and they assume that they are still part of the World Economic Forum. So when they were establishing the central bank digital currency, they actually stole back the XRP token, the concept of XRP. The World Economic Forum was utilizing already that blockchain that we talk about all the time, that being Bitcoin. Bitcoin uses a very unique system called a hashtag system. And in that hashtag, of course, it goes through a series of computers. And each block in that hashtag can be altered or changed as it progresses through the computer systems, or get purchased or sold to whoever purchases that particular block, that being Bitcoin. But understand that XRP was the original concept. And once you understand the dynamics of that, is why I can say that what was to be, that being the central bank digital currency, then became the central banking digital currency. And that's where we are right now. That is, of course, like I said, the concept of XRP was then recreated not long after they created BRICS. And what had happened was, to take back control, you take back control of the money. The XRP ledger, now let's not get confused here because it's often completely added on to. So I'm going to try and make it as clear as I possibly can today. The XRP is the native token of that being the Ripple blockchain. So we have the Bitcoin blockchain, Ethereum, and then Ripple. And on these blockchains, they have what we call native tokens. And everyone is still a little confused about this XRP token. It's not the token that we're actually talking about here today. We're talking about the banking system. And as I said, they took the Ripple blockchain and created the XRP. All right? Utilizing the XRP token. But there is a very, very distinctive difference. And this is where the confusion lies. And people, I'm sure, are going to argue, question, and they know it all. That's fine. But I want you to think about this logically. We're talking today about what we call the wholesale CBDC. So the wholesale CBDC is that, as I said, was that has been run and utilised by the governments. We've mentioned about the Bank of International Settlements. The central banks are underneath there. And then, of course, your governments interject into there to move money around for trades and things like that as well. By 2012, they integrated the XRP ledger, not XRP, but the XRP ledger. This is nothing to do with the actual token itself. We're talking about the ledger. What is a ledger? It's a balance sheet between assets and liabilities. And in this new ledger, it identifies and has to be completely balanced. So what comes in and goes out has to balance. With Bitcoin, like I said, it has a hashtag system, and they can alter whether it's classed as an asset or a liability. And that's what governments were doing. They were using the Bitcoin because they can alter whether it's an asset or a liability. So this is why the Ripple ledger, that being XRP ledger, was integrated in around about 2012. And it was integrated into the first country in the Southern Hemisphere was Australia. And they utilised that through National Australia Bank here in Australia. This was to transfer on the XRP ledger, that of what was Bitcoin, through your networks, through to, of course, into our Australian Treasury. Now, here's where it gets a little complex, because someone did ask, then, why are you saying XRP is on the Stellar network? Well, the Stellar network was, again, established. It is the big umbrella that operates all networks, that being XRP and XDC, all run under the Stellar network. They run separate blockchains, yes, but they all run on the Stellar network. So there's a network and it has many blockchains. But we're going to focus only today on the XRP ledger because everyone still confuses it with XRP. No, it's a ledger. It's a ledger for that, to make accountability, transparency for those of the governments. And they interlock, okay? They interlock with each other through the Bank of International Settlements using the same ledger. And on this ledger, of course, we talk about this ISO 222. The ledger was created so as it runs on a messaging system, that being ISO 222. And that's what we're talking about. It is the ledger that operates the governments. What was to be a central bank digital currency is now central banking, because it's centralized to all countries, including the Bank of International Settlements, using this XRP ledger. So this ledger communicates in every single country equally. This is that level playing field, this one-to-one. That then is the interoperability, that big word that everyone sort of often hears about but doesn't quite comprehend.
I don't know, I've never seen that one.
So what was to be a central bank digital currency is utilized through this interoperability to then come to where we are today, where we talk about central banking. And this banking system runs on its own ISO messaging system, that being 222. And that is what we have been operating on since around about 2012. This is to utilize for that of the governments, the government trades, and to stabilize your currency. It does not, or I cannot validate this narrative that people are saying, oh, it's all got to do with the XRP. No, XRP native token stands alone. It is the ledger that we are operating on to do the wholesaling, which is done through that of the governments. Do not get confused, ladies and gentlemen, about people going out there and telling you that, well, they're going to buy back my XRP and this, that, and all the rest of it. No, it is a native token. Now, that brings me to some bearer of bad news, I guess, in a sense, but we can certainly go into it a little bit further. As I said, everything is run on or under that being the Stellar network. And like I said, this network is like a web itself, and it has multiple blockchains. In every country, it operates slightly differently. Although the central banks are utilising the XRP ledger, understand that each country has a different blockchain that is operating to transfer from their central bank into their treasuries and to do other operational networks for them to release what they call the retail central banking digital currency. So we saw this narrative of the wholesale going through. Now we're talking about the retail, that being, of course, XLM. Now, again, that XLM can be run on many different blockchains. In fact, the one here in Australia is using the XDC network. And whilst I was doing some deep research the other day, we actually looked into this. Now, like I said, not to be a bearer of bad news, but again, this is all part of that great awakening. It came to my attention that XDC network has its own native token called XInfin, and their native token is XDC. The XDC token cannot be operating in Lobster. So if you are out there and you think you're holding XDC in Lobster, I would recommend highly that you do your own research. I will post after the show the research that I did to show you that I back everything up, as I always do, that the XDC on your Lobster wallet cannot hold XDC. You can hold XDC on other wallets such as Uphold, Decent, and many others. So those of you who are over there in Lobster, this came to my attention, and I thought it was important enough to make sure that those who are thinking that they hold XDC in Lobster Wallet think again. So I'll leave those links for you to go and do some more research on all of that. So that was interesting. But let's get back to the interoperability. As I said, this interoperability gives us the ability to then go from the wholesale, from what we believe to be the government, to the retail, which is utilising XLM. XLM has been operational, like I said, since 2012. So every time you tap and go, you are actually tapping into the Stellar network, utilising that being the token XLM. Now, this is where it gets a little even more confusing, because people are hearing so many things from so many people regarding XRP. It's going to be brought back. It's only for the governments, this, that, and all the rest of it. It's not the token. It's the XRP ledger that is being utilised in the governments. Once the governments are on that ledger, that gives us the control of the governments. It's got nothing to do with XRP. So can we please stop worrying about gurus saying to you that they're going to buy it back, this, that, and all the rest of it? It is you've got to look at this from a very logical point of view. We touched on Coinbase quite some time ago, and I shared articles regarding the Coinbase wallet. And this is where it comes into play about these cold wallets and the hard wallets. Well, Coinbase is a very unique wallet in the sense that it has, you've got to basically download 2 apps for it to function and operate safely and securely. This is just a prime example. Some wallets already have them incorporated within the one app, but Coinbase actually operate 2 apps. And each of these apps have different purposes. One acts very similar to that of what we call a cold wallet, or like a nano ledger, so to speak. And to operate, or if you want to trade, you transfer from that wallet, that app, into the trading wallet, which acts like a hard wallet. Okay, so that then brings us to, of course, how safe, of course, are these cold wallets and what have you. It's entirely up to yourself. You do your own research. There's many out there from Tangem to Decent wallets to Exodus wallets. They all have different functionalities. So until you understand the functionality or what you want to use it for, then don't overextend yourself. Go with what you can is easy to understand. If you are doing complex situations, like I said, you may look at Exodus for IOTA, this, that, and all the rest of it. But find one that is suitable for you, that is easy to understand, that comes with great reviews, and you know how to operate it. You can't have someone else operating those things for you, because we're going into biometrics. It's your biometrics. So you can't ask your husband or your wife to do it for you. You actually have to learn to do it yourself. If it seems too difficult, then don't do it at all. Simple as that. Okay? Even if any of this is too much for you, then take a step back until we get more educated, or things may become even more simplistic in the sense. But just understand that what you hold, you have to learn and understand what you hold. Is it the right token suitable for that particular wallet, whether it be a cold wallet or a hard wallet? Is the cold wallet being able to operate that? Do I have to transfer that token into XLM, for instance? You need to know this yourself. You need to have yourself educated, not somebody else. If it is too much, then stay out of it. That's the best advice I can give you. So what happens here is, like I said, it's a matter of know what you hold and hold it. It's the same with your currencies. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Now, when we say that, it's no different to the silver certificates. Oh, by the way, I had it confirmed several times yesterday that talking about silver certificates, I believe they've been signed off. Just putting that out there before I forget. Just a little side note for all of you that are still on the RV. Okay, so with all of that being said, of course, then everything then becomes online and tokenized. They are tokenized, which basically stabilizes them against the actual physical assets. Okay, so this is why I said with the Coinbase having the two different wallets, it's like a quantum account. Think of it as a quantum account, that you hold your assets in this cold wallet. Okay, and this is why I like Coinbase in a sense for different utilities. So think of it as your quantum account is sitting over here, and when you want to withdraw it, you transfer it to trade with it or to utilize it or use it. Okay, that's what a cold wallet is. Like I said, learn and understand what you are holding, what you are purchasing. But let's go back to the utilities of Coinbase and XRP. XRP is now it's done an agreement. Let's say it's called an agreement with Coinbase. They are stating with Coinbase that if you hold X amount of XRP, that's the native token of Ripple. We're not talking about the ledger now, we're talking about the actual native token. And if you hold that, you can actually borrow or loan money from what you hold in XRP. So this is why we talk about you can bank outside of the banking system. So for those people who want to remain sovereign, this is an opportunity for you to go and investigate. If you don't want to bank in the banks, then have a look at this Coinbase or something similar. Like I said, understand and make sure you know what you are utilizing. But they are saying in Coinbase that if you hold, say, 200,000 XRP, that you can loan yourself a certain percentage without having to loan it from anyone else. You're basically taking it from your 401k, say, for instance, but you're doing it outside of the system. So you can borrow off that And then as you trade on that, you put it back into that fund, into that cold wallet. Okay? So go back into the articles that we have posted here. And if you're looking for it, you just put in the search engine and look for Coinbase, and then go through the articles regarding Coinbase and XRP. And those will give you, that will give you the information of what they are saying. It's not me saying it. It's what this utility of Coinbase is doing regarding XRP.
And then I'm going to finish off with Nick Shirley's video, the hour video with Nick. And then come back. We'll probably come back at 2, 5, 3, 4. We'll come back at 6 after the Nick Shirley video. We got one more. We got 2 other ones we'll play tonight.
Regarding XRP. The reason I bring that to your attention is because, again, to back up what I'm saying is that this whole guru thing regarding XRP and selling it, and they're going to buy it back because they need it for the XRP ledger. It does not make any logical sense to me whatever. And if you are still questioning that, then ask the people who are saying that to verify that, because I can't find any verification in anything from Coinbase to Kraken to Trust Wallet to Binance that they are going to buy it back. What you hold is yours. You own it and you can borrow off it. Why would you want to sell it? The reason they are saying this, ladies and gentlemen, is, as I said, to take it away from you so that they can purchase it. Puts more on the market, brings the prices down. So if you are considering doing that, then please make sure you do your own research. Because as far as I'm concerned, they are not going to buy back the XRP, the native token of Ripple. Yes, it is minted, but things will adjust accordingly. The markets will adjust, the pricing will adjust, just like it does in a complete reset. So at this point in time, I do not condone this whole XRP, they're going to buy it back and things like that. So it does not make sense, because Ripple themselves have made an agreement with Coinbase to state to me, and they have stated to all of you, that you can bank on your own XRP. But it is not that for the governments. The governments are simply utilizing the network, that being XRP ledger. The ledger will always balance. Yes, they have limited tokens, so don't come back to me and tell me you know it all. Yes, they have a number of tokens, but that is going to be utilized over a period of time. As I said, once the reset has occurred, everything will be balanced. And there is plenty of billions of XRP tokens for the world and for everybody. There will, to me, I still can't logically understand why people are still saying they're going to buy back XRP because they're going to need it for their governments, this, that, and all the rest of it. No, they won't. No, they won't. That's my opinion. That is based upon the facts that I've just given you. The facts are also in our search engine. You can go and suss it out yourselves and make sense of it yourself. But if you are still listening to rumours, hearsay and everything else, then that is on you. We're going to go to Web3. Web3 is, of course, as an understanding, a brief understanding. Web3 is like the new internet, so to speak. This is where this one gets really exciting, because we know that we're going to have this new internet, or this new World Wide Web, so to speak. And this is Web 3.0. So when the web was first created, of course, we all knew it to be the World Wide Web, and we all tapped into the web, so to speak. And boy, did it change our lives. It was like when we all got our first mobile phone, we were sort of like, ooh, you know, we felt rich, didn't we? We felt rich, and we are rich. We are all blessed and rich in so many ways. But Web 3.0 Yes, it is. It's like an internet connection. And this is what I said. The easiest explanation I can give people is that it's the new web. So we had to go through a transition of like the World Wide Web. It had its alterations. They changed it. They've upgraded it. It's going live. And it's a new web, as I said, that's connecting all of this together on the same system, that being ISO compliant, so that all countries can complete a reset all on the same messaging system. So it is the messaging system, which is ISO 222 compliance, that is global, okay? So when people sit back and they kind of go, everything's going to go into a basket. I thought about this again the other day. I can't see how it's going to go into baskets again because of the web. Once that web is connected and all the messaging systems are all running simultaneously, I still sort of lean over towards that. I think everything's going to be reset all at the same time. And I think that's what's going to happen. And again, we can toss around ideas, but it's still with the Web 3.0 and the understanding how that's going to operate and function. That is your World Wide Web connecting everything onto the ISO system. So definitely need to explore that a little bit more. But yeah, for me, ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely fantastic that we move another huge step. This is like a giant step for mankind, but not onto Mars or the moon, but for humanity. So definitely keep an eye out on the news regarding the Web3, and we will go from there. So I did see the beautiful Colorado Mama, as she is still around and would like to pop up and give us a very brief update before we go into any other quick questions. I'm happy for her to pop up and say,
hey, we're halfway,
hello.
guys.
She's still
30
awake.
minutes.
I know it's very
30
late
minutes.
for her, but yeah. But otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, it is there is so much going on. We're seeing this SWIFT infrastructure, the XRP circulating and giving infrastructure to currencies. As I said, this is going to be utilised that on the XRP ledger and connecting all the banks. We saw Visa just the other day also taking control of the actual cyber attacks from the banks. As I said, understand the banks don't hold the security that they have. They were corrupt. So this banking system, that being, of course, being utilised through BRICS payment systems, are using things such as Visa to put the protection for all of us inside the bank. So there's a lot of infrastructure. The SWIFT system, the old system is basically shutting down, and as they shut down, there will be a few glitches. Understand that. But this also connects us, of course, to that of the foreign currency exchange Forex, and we are still having high expectations that middle to the late of next week, it feels like they're pushing it out, but they're not. There's a lot of fundamentals that have come in the last few days, so we sort of look forward to what's going to happen over the weekend. There is many expectations of certain things going on, as I said, regarding the Iraqi dinar coming online. The expectation is, of course, when the Iraqi Prime Minister arrives and signs over in that, will that initiate that Web3 and everything goes live? Still looking around about the 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th of July for that to happen, somewhere around there. Or does it come in a little bit early? Does he sneak in a little bit earlier? We will wait and see. No one ever really knows until like a day before or the day of. So we'll keep a very close eye on that. So is there any quick questions? God's Alf, can you direct me there? Is there anyone who would like to ask a question?
And now, Sage, did you have a question? Sage. do you have a question? RC Patriot. RC Patriot, did you have a question?
Yep. G'day. How you going? Question for Mel. Have you looked into Wirex at all? Because they're doing a lot with being able to do exactly what you were saying about using your assets to borrow back.
Oh,
have you
okay,
done any
Wirex.
research into it?
Yeah, I haven't done anything recently with that because that's linked, of course, to the Lobster wallet, to transfer and things like that as well. So Aussie Patriot, I will certainly look into that one. That's one that I haven't updated for a long time. So thank you very much for that update. So that's what I'm talking about. These are assets that you own, you purchase them, you have them sit there, and then you get to utilize those. That's why I say I can't understand why these gurus or whoever they are coming out and saying that they're going to sell them and this, that, and all the rest of it. It doesn't make sense because the system is unbanking from the banks, and this is the new system that we are seeing, and we take control back. This is about our sovereignty, and so if we purchase them, you definitely need to hold them. So very interesting. Wirex, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Might have to post a couple of things about Wirex after the show as well. I'll definitely look into that. So, but yeah. So, is there anything else, sweetie? Have you got any other questions, or what would you like to talk about?
Yeah. Also, I did send you a PM because I'm not sure whether I'm in your Aussie chat group. I'm just in the Mayhem Mel News. Yeah. But no, that's it. Great. Thanks, Mel. I love what you're doing. Thank you.
That's okay, champion. Not a problem at all. I'll message you back because, I've got 2 Aussie Patriots. It's pretty crazy. So I'll definitely get back to you after the show. So anyway, who's next?
TCM.
Hi, Mel. How are you? Thank you so much for everything that you do. This is New Jersey. New Jersey again. Yes.
Woohoo.
So my question is, since everything is going to be switching over to this new system, we'll be in charge of our own money, will the banking system policies with the service fees that they charge us, will that stop as well?
Technically it should. And I noticed that and this is what's going on at the moment, they are going hell west and crooked with everyone at the moment, TCM, because they the control mechanisms that they have, it's blocking them from charging. I know that a lot of the, say, credit cards now have 0 interest, but they are 0 interest for much longer periods. That means the banks aren't getting as many profits as they were before. So they're targeting anybody and anything, any kind of money movement right now. They are targeting them because they want to hold that money. They want to trade that money. They're losing control, and they're taking it out on all of us at the moment. I'm getting some pretty wild stories, not just some of the crazy stuff that happens to me. But does all of that go? Yes. This is why, it does eventually.
Venmo as well?
Sorry?
Venmo as well?
Yes.
Service fees?
Yes, all of that eventually will go. They have to utilize the banking system until such time as that we have, it's like the citizens of Iraq. Not everyone has a bank account. So until we have everyone over on the digital asset side, this is why I said today, this is important, that we must educate ourselves. We sometimes have to force ourselves to educate ourselves on this digital asset platform, because this is where it's going. It's not going away. This is your new banking system. We all put our hand up and complain about the bank fees and everything else. Well, you need to unbank from the bank. So that if we unbank from the banks, then the banks will close. They can shut that system down. They don't have the control. And they're still playing this fiddle-dee, fiddle-dum in the background with all of us. but they act as a service provider for now. It's so frustrating for us when we want to just move on, you know,
Right.
so we just want to like
Or
completely
get stuck.
debank.
Or
Exactly.
stay stuck.
Exactly. And I think that's where we're at. This is what the whole reason was, is to bring people over to the digital assets. We had a couple of really good articles. The girls in that have posted some fantastic articles, as well as myself, on educating you about certain things. And even if you only just read those articles and not the ones about XRP and what they're going to do next week or whatever, but definitely use this channel as an education. So as you start to get up to speed, because the sooner we move across to this digital world, the sooner we can cut these banks off. We still hold on to it because it's our security blanket.
Yeah, it is.
But it is a security blanket. And we know that everything is mirrored. We can see that. We've had enough people tell us that they are mirrored. The issue that we still have is that we still kind of hold on to them. And yeah, we won't let that go, so to speak. So this is why it's kind of like a forced reset, I guess you could say, and that we need to sort of really start to embrace this, because we can't allow the banks to keep operating like this.
Yeah, they've been
Which
stealing
also
from us across the board.
Exactly, and it brings it to my attention too that, say for instance, they do shut down the banks. Everyone's going to go into total chaos, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Those of us who have already done the hard work over on the digital asset side are going to survive, so to speak, because we've now learned how to operate that system outside of the system.
So we just really have to get into it. We have to get into that system. We have no choice, and the sooner the better.
The sooner the better.
And it's funny because all that you've been teaching us has been so incredibly important. All of those articles that you post up there, I read them. I own a very small business, and I've been educating all of the people that I can, because I deal with a lot of business owners as well. And some of them are just, they have no clue, and they're learning from me, but I'm learning from you. And I can't tell you how grateful I am. I really am, because I'm busy. I'm a busy person. I'm a handicapped person. And to have you, I can't tell you how incredibly grateful I am. Thank you so much, Mel, for all you do. Really, I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And as I said, my love and thanks and gratitude also goes to especially Love Trumpy, who posts so many fantastic posts, and you know, she's doing that and everything else. So a lot of credit goes to her as well. And yeah, this is a team effort, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, an absolute amazing. I get to do a lot more research in the background. She's sent me some more articles, and I've been doing so much more, taking everything from a different perspective. And it's yeah, it's been an amazing journey. But thank you so much for that. God's Out. Who's up next?
Love Trumpy is up next.
I don't have a question. I just want to, this is for the people that are nervous about all this digital stuff. I have 2 grown sons. Their paychecks go to Cash App, direct deposit. They pay all their bills off their phone with Cash App. And they are not attached to banks or anything. It's just direct deposit. They pay their bills from their phone. They have their savings on their phone. And it's a simple app called Cash App. Basically, the whole world is going on an app like that.
Very similar to that. Yeah. And thank you so much. And that's why Mel has a beam that operates here in Australia, that's utilising the Australian FPOS, the EFT here in Australia. So wherever it is in your country, so thank you so much for that, Love Trumpy, because that is true. The sooner you unbank from the banks and find other alternatives, then that old SWIFT system will definitely disappear. So, so thank you so much. Of course, the Cash App only operates that in the United States. Canada also has an email. Oh, there's Colorado Mama. She's back up there. In Canada, they have an email system as well. So as I said, each country operates differently. They utilize everything on different networks. As I said, Australia uses XDC. So wherever you are in this world, all you have to do is to go into your central bank and type in XRP ledger, and it will tell you which network that ledger is operating on, and that will give you an indicator as to, then it leads you down the path. As Love Trumpy just said, it is going to an app world, whether you like it or you don't. It is simply, that is where we are going. So we use Beam here in Australia, so I encourage everyone in Australia. It saves me putting out my bank details. You just go into the Beam app and you transfer, you know, from family, friends. If you're out on the family thing and everyone wants to chip in, you just beam it to mum or to your friend, and you don't have to worry about all the excess stuff that goes on in the banking system. So check it out. Cash App in America, Beam in Australia, wherever you are in this beautiful world, certainly find the app that you can have directly deposited so as you unbank from the banks. So for all of you sovereign people out there who still don't like banks and don't like taxes and this, that, and all the rest of it, certainly go and check them out, because as I said, it is definitely an alternative for all of you. So anyway, God's Elf, who's up next? Thanks, Love Trumpy. We appreciate you.
Colorado Mama. Colorado Mama.
Yeah, she's up and ready to go.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning to you too.
Top of the morning or whatever time it is, wherever you're at today.
Absolutely.
I just want to tell you that as we maneuver through this change in finance, there are a lot of people in my world who still are in a check writing mentality, and they are stuck. They are stuck, and you know, I let's just say I shop in many places in the world, and it's phenomenal to me how you go up even with a piece of plastic, right, which is a digital form of an app, and you can just tap something, or you can just tap your phone. And so we are all making these, do I tap, slide? Do I click? Do I have an address? Do I need to have a long address like Bitcoin crap and wait in the line for an hour to buy a loaf of bread? You know, we have got to embrace the changes. Yep. And I remember about 6 months ago, you were talking about digital face recognition on the phone. And I've been a little bit obstinate about that little feature. But I've come to understand something, that my mugshot is me only. Okay?
That's it.
And that is biometrics. Well, they're already using this. So if I think I'm going to avoid being part of the matrix and still be able to operate, I need to get off my high horse and get my feet on the ground and say, you know what? I either embrace and I benefit from this in such a way that some other moron who doesn't walk around with my mug shot is not going to have access to my stuff because he doesn't wear my lipstick, right? So this is a time of reckoning for people who are stuck. Get unstuck. The people and the powers that be, with the capitulation tour that took place a few years ago, that was the beginning of a huge change in finance. In fact, government said, okay, to the commander-in-chief of finance of the world. And if you don't know who that is, go do some research. So I'm here to say this morning, this evening, this afternoon, you always say it so nicely. I'm trying to be as good as you are on that. But anyways, wherever you are, whatever time it is where you're at, it is time to get a stiff cup of coffee, make adaptations so that you can be in front of this curve. If you change phones, you have to manually change your banking apps. They don't automatically. And I came to realization at a weird hour of the day that maybe one of my apps is not transferred over my stuff, and I might have freaked out a little bit for a moment. So we've got to become proficient at this, and it doesn't matter how many plenty nines you are. And so I want to encourage everybody that you can do this. You must do this. Because if you don't, you're going to be stuck in writing checks and doing a deposit slip and passbook savings mentality. And those days are over. And this ISO 20022 incident that just a couple nights ago completely kind of clicked in at the capstone of reality is going to become very evident to the rest of the world who still want to work on a rotary dial phone and a flip phone. The time has come, ladies and gentlemen, and myself. I have been very uncomfortable during these changes. Way back when Bitcoin began, trying to understand all this. Give yourself a round of applause if you're here tonight. And we owe you a debt of gratitude to breach a subject that many people are extremely uncomfortable with. And I know some of you are squirming right now in your tennis shoes. It's okay. We got to get on the horse. We got to tighten the cinch and we got to ride. We've got to get ahead of this so that we can not be exploited any longer. As somebody was just saying, how the banks are here to rip you off. You have no idea what I see happening with people and weapons that are being used against citizens who are just trying to conduct life.
8 minutes, you guys. 8 more minutes.
And bank accounts being shut down, or you travel to certain places and all of a sudden your banking apps are shut down. And I'm just like going, whatever. You know? So they take control. I've been adverting to Apple Pay because of the lovely people attached to the names of those things. But I'm going to say at this point, I got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and I've got to learn how to take advantage of what's happening, where we're going, and be ahead of the change. And I want to just thank you, Mel, for opening the minds of people that need to thrive and need the security. They need the biometrics. And we need, God's elf and Trumpy and people to step in and facilitate. I appreciate all the sharing that's done here. We are a team. I'm on here as a team player, not as great contributors, maybe some others. But I'm participating, and the more of us that participate and we take our sovereignty back financially, we now strip the bad guys of their capabilities, and it is happening as I speak. It is happening as I speak. So that's my diatribe this evening, this morning or afternoon or whatever time it is in your neck of the woods. And I applaud you all.
Thank you very, very much. And she certainly is one powerful lady, ladies and gentlemen. And we thank you very much as well. And it is true. And it's still interesting that, we hear these humble words from Colorado Mama. and understand it's not easy for me either. Did I struggle with them? Yes. And I've only just started using Apple Pay myself, and a lot of the young ones go, oh, really, Mel? Understand that anything that is, when we are comfortable, ladies and gentlemen, it means that we are living in fear. And this is what we're talking about right now. We have to take control of the power and the knowledge that we have, and that's why I give you what the best of me every single time, to give you the power and the knowledge to trust and trust in God. All of the Apples, the Amazons, and all of that, believe it or not, like I said, we're still holding on to that threshold because we're comfortable with our decision to say they were bad. Well, that's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. They were bad. We're now seeing in Ukraine an article that I posted, and some people go, oh, that's a nothing article. I'm going to start changing things up a little bit more. I'm going to be talking specifically about certain articles and why I post them. There was an article that came up just the other day, and this is a prime example about, it's not just about the currencies and the digital assets. We're going into a world, and that's going to be a new world. There was a Ukrainian article regarding that they are having what they call blackouts. And these blackouts was to get rid of their old system. Not just about the child trafficking going on here, but new energy, new infrastructure, new railway systems. They had to blow Ukraine up and many, many other countries because of all the nefarious energy weapons that they were using within themselves. These were including tunnels, hence why Ukraine and many other countries need new infrastructure for new railway systems above and below the ground. It's because they had to be blown up because of all of the nefarious stuff. That is the old system that you still hold on to, whether that be, I'm not going to do facial recognition, rada, is still part of the old system. So you're still stuck in the old system. You want it to change, but until we come to the realization that we're actually holding on to that old system, we're doing it to ourselves. If you wanted this new world to come to you, ladies and gentlemen, then please let go of all what you thought was bad is no longer bad. Embrace it, as Colorado Mama has just said. Level up, ladies and gentlemen. If you still hold on that I'm not going to order anything from Amazon because they were bad. They were bad. Well, your Australian post office is basically Amazon. Funny that. But we still go to the post office with our check and our little card, and we still pay our bills because we're scared of doing facial recognition on our phones. But we're still stuck in that matrix. So unless you want this to change, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you today, and I struggle with it just like all of you, but until you get past and embrace the change, level up with the technology, you're going to be left behind. This is not just the war of words or the financial war. This is a spiritual war. And that struggle often occurs not just in myself, but for all of us. And don't ever think that you have it all, you know it all, because you just don't. And we realize these things as we travel through the journeys, and including myself. I still have my own personal struggles, but just know this, what Colorado Mama has just shared with all of you is the reason why I keep doing what I do right now, because I have every reason not to. I could make up the excuses not to. But right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why I do what I do, is to give it to you, give you the power and the knowledge. The knowledge will give you the power, the empowerment that you need to get through this journey. Embrace it, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely embrace it. If you have your hand up and are about to ask a question, I do have another appointment to go to. Can we just send these lovely people that have questions DM?
All right, you guys, we made it. That was in there about 10 seconds, 20 seconds. We covered it all. All right, let's go ahead and get the third one out. Nick Shirley. And then we'll take a break till 6 o'clock. So we'll put the pie in here at 3:15. So we're doing good timing. So far, so good. So far, so good. $54 minutes.
In 2019 to now nearly $12 billion in 2025. It is an industry full of fraudsters who have taken advantage of the system, and as New York City leads the state with funding and amount of providers, locations like Flushing, Queens have more than 70 adult daycares within just a few blocks. Some of these daycares receiving more than $40 million to watch the elderly play board games at the taxpayers' expense. And to see the fraud firsthand, we headed to an adult daycare who had paid over $5 million, and they explained exactly how the fraud works and even led us to the main fraudsters in the area. Stay tuned because you're going to be shocked to see what our tax dollars are being spent on. We're heading to One Stop Senior Daycare Center. This place has billed $5.2 million in just 2025 alone, and they're averaging 276 beneficiaries per day, which is 5 times above the national average of just 48 beneficiaries a day. So they have 5 times the amount of people coming into this daycare each and every single day, and they build $5.2 million. Let's go see what their operation looks like. It's on the 2nd floor. We're going in. Here we go. Hello, sir. Hello. How are you? Is this One Stop Daycare Center, right?
Hi.
Awesome. How are you doing, sir?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Amazing. We were wondering if we could check our grandma into daycare.
Oh, okay. Okay, come, sit. How about?
And we have some questions as well.
Yes.
We were instantly welcomed in, and these individuals did something that no fraudster had ever done before and actually opened up and talked about their business. Now, it's super important to follow this conversation because they expose exactly how the fraud happens. Is there 270 people here today?
No.
No.
Yeah. So right now, when was that?
2025.
Yeah, last year, yeah.
Last year.
Majority of our members left.
They left.
Yeah.
So last year was a big business.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's like, less than that. You can check up for the current the billing.
So what happened to all the people?
Oh, yeah.
To everywhere else. Everywhere that, maybe you guys know why you're here.
Yeah, you're searching for the fraud or claim or something, right?
You guys chose the wrong place.
Not here. I'm going to recommend.
We have
Oh, so you can tell us where the other fraud's at?
We will, is this being recorded?
Yeah.
Okay, so we would love to, but we're very concerned. We were trying to maybe reach out to other actual, government agencies.
Yeah.
But we're very careful because it's a conflict of interest between us and other people.
And other daycares.
Yeah, but us, I'm actually glad that you guys came.
You are the one like the Minnesota, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we help America save lots of money.
Yeah.
And so we're concerned about some of these crazy numbers, like 5.75 times the national average is quite a bit.
The current we are the biggest daycare right now.
Yeah.
The size matter. The faculty is like the biggest right now.
And this daycare truly was gigantic. It had a cafeteria, a ballroom, had an upstairs, had a massage room, a karaoke room, a room for people to do art, a pool table room, and even a place for them to play their own instruments. And now they started explaining why others were leaving their daycare to go to other daycares to receive kickbacks.
We used to grow bigger. And then those members, every time they would come in, they would mention some sort of other benefits that they would get. Every time we rejected it, our channel, if you see the waves, it will just keep getting discharge and discharge. So even this year, we hit maybe about a 300 to 400 member discharge, almost simultaneously. And then we all find out that the reason is because other daycares are doing whatever you guys are aware of. So we're losing our members left and right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now we're down to 120.
And do you think like the fraud is real with these adult daycare centers?
Can I say everything? Yeah, 100%. It's 100%.
And take the helmet of salvation. And for an helmet.
And us, I know another daycare down there, the biggest places are losing the most members.
But you guys don't commit fraud?
No. That's why we're losing members. The numbers speak for itself.
Were you guys ever surprised by how much money you could make running adult daycares?
I mean, of course, but the funds to run a place this big, even the OIG, Inspector Generals, came around the end of the year. They did the whole book sweep. They did everything. Same place. They sat there. We had a whole meeting. We told them, frankly, they said, how do you operate this place? With the members that came in, we were able to barely manage the facility. The rent is insane. The amount of staff that we had at that point was insane. So we weren't making much profit margin even then. So even during that time, they said, do you do any kickbacks? We opened the whole book. They inspected everything. They see no margin for kickbacks. We had no funds to do even such a thing. Frankly, we're suffering, to be honest with you guys. Yeah.
Really?
So I need you guys' help.
Yeah, no.
I need you guys' help.
Very, very. Like,
how can we help?
There's so many places that we could send you to do the same thing, and you'll really get whatever you need from them.
They then told us some of the daycares that were actually committing the fraud.
I mean, almost every daycare that you see in Flushing, every daycare that you walk in is doing the same thing. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So how does the fraud work then? So like someone takes in the people and then they start getting kickbacks, or they start billing other transportation companies, or
so just now I was having a consultation with 2 members. They've been here with us forever. They're telling us that all their friends are leaving. We already know what's going on. So they're telling me that every daycare that is doing it is teaching them how to like logically think about this. They're treating the kickback as not a kickback. They're just thinking that if, let's say, the CEO makes a profit margin, then they give that margin back to the members. So they tell the members that that's not a kickback. We're telling them it doesn't matter, then the funds should decrease so that there is no sufficient funds for them to actually flush it back out into the public. They don't understand that. So usually it's per member, per day, per referral, who do you come with, or how you get there, how many people you bring.
So like the way it works is an old person then tells their friends, hey, join us, join this daycare. Then we get a kickback off of you joining, like a referral program.
Correct, exactly. So let's say...
And they bill Medicare and Medicaid.
No.
Medicaid.
So companies like you guys bill Medicaid, and so then these old people are giving kickbacks from Medicaid money to
So what
the old people.
Exactly.
Is it a daycare that's giving the kickback for the referral?
Correct.
Or it's not Medicaid, it's the daycare giving the kickback.
But with Medicaid's money.
Medicaid money.
Correct. And when that fund, when the specific daycare bills something per member, then there's basically deals that's going on between them two. You know what I mean? Like how many days do you get? Basically, let's say you come into my daycare and you have X amount of days. Then that's funds that I'm making off this one member. There's a kickback portion of that goes back to that member.
Wow.
If you have a referral or a large group, usually people move in groups these days. So that's what's the...
So these old people are out recruiting people to come to certain daycares.
Members themselves, friends, people that's all about money. You know, previous business owners that retired. Even the daycare itself, they have staff in there, or stuff like that. Is
wow.
The whole
as an owner side of that, I can say that's why I want to close the business at this moment, because I cannot compete them like money. I cannot do that. So yeah.
Were you guys ever doing that?
No.
We then left and headed to the #1 daycare in the area that's received over $44 million over the past few years. And this is how much money they received this year. We're outside of Sunrise Senior Service. In 2024, this adult daycare right here billed $12.9 million. In adult daycare, they paid $10.8 million. And in transportation, they paid $2.1 million. The last daycare we're at said this is the one that is taking all their clients and they're giving kickbacks. Let's go see what's going on. So look right here, they just put them in this van right here. They bust these old people in and then they bring them in here and then they're taking kickbacks. Oh, we're going to Sunrise Senior Service.
I am working over there.
Oh, perfect.
What approach are you?
Oh, I would like to sign my grandma up for daycare.
Can you repeat that again?
I would like to sign my grandma for daycare.
Oh, she's American, right?
Yeah.
But no American here, so...
So you're discriminating against Americans?
No, that is no discrimination. But only Koreans here, so I think she cannot get along with other people because they cannot speak English.
Oh, she speaks Korean.
Oh, that's American?
Yeah, American that speaks Korean.
Korean American?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, then no problem.
Okay. Her name's Debbie.
Debbie.
Yeah, she wants to come and play games with the old people.
Oh, yeah, she will be here?
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now?
We're thinking about bringing her here.
Oh, when?
Not yet. Oh my word. Everyone, calm down. Calm down. Is it true, like, if my grandma Debbie signs up, she can then, like, get a kickback and, like, get money?
Kickback and money?
Yeah.
What about the money? I don't understand. What money are you talking about?
Like, someone was telling my grandma Debbie that if she comes here, then she can get money from the daycare.
She's already a member of here or what?
No, she wants to become a member to get money from the daycare.
I'm the owner too.
Oh, great, yeah. So, got a grandma, her name is Debbie, and she would like to become a potential member of the daycare because we were over at another daycare and they don't offer kickbacks. And so do you guys offer kickbacks?
Offer kickbacks?
No?
Of course not.
Because that's what the other daycare was saying.
Which daycare?
Well, just the one over there.
I don't know. It's what they're saying because I'm the owner, but I'm not doing kickbacks.
Because then we were doing like some numbers and it said you guys made like $12.9 million in 2024, and which is a lot of money, and then like $2.1 million for transportation companies. So like you guys billed $12.9 million, and then out of that $12 million, 10 was for adult daycare and 2 was for transportation.
Yes.
And so they're saying they're giving kickbacks.
So where? Who told you that?
Well, the other daycare, because they didn't want to give us kickbacks.
Yeah, because we don't offer kickbacks.
No kickbacks.
No kickbacks.
Do you think it's true that a lot of these daycares are like committing fraud?
I heard some of the daycares are doing fraud, but we don't do fraud thing.
Gone to daycare? Where'd I come from? Yes. Oh, I come from around here.
Yes.
We're just concerned about where our tax dollars are going. So, and how come you guys are the daycare that receives the most amount of money here in Flushing, Queens?
We have a lot of members.
How many members do you guys have?
I don't have to tell you.
Because here it says you guys have 7,899.
Where did you get this information?
Oh, it's actually from the public databases of CMS and HHS.
Do I have to tell you the number?
But this place doesn't look like it can hold 7,000 people.
Can I have an ID or something? You're asking me some about.
Well, this is public information because it's public tax dollars that you guys are receiving.
I don't have to tell you, right?
Yeah, but do you guys have 7,000 members, for instance?
No, we don't have 7,000 members.
Okay, well, that's what it says. You have 7,899 in 2024, and then so that's not true.
7,000.
Yeah. So you guys are you guys overbilling then? Because you guys are getting paid per patient $1,600, and that's how you guys got $12.9 million in 2024.
I don't know. I don't know how they calculate. But I don't remember. I don't remember all the numbers.
But did you have 7,000? I think you'd remember if you had.
No, I don't. We don't have 7,000 members.
So, how come you guys billed for 7,000 people? Then?
Do I have to tell you?
Well, you like $12.9 million on 7,000 patients, and you say there's not 7,000 patients. Are you committing fraud? Like, are these numbers wrong?
Please, sir.
$12.9 million. That's a lot of money.
What do you guys think?
Judges of worlds bestowed a title upon me, child.
Leave.
12.9 million. All right, we will leave. You could have just answered the questions. Now,
I said I don't want to.
Now people are gonna be wondering if you're committing fraud.
I don't want to, but why you keep asking me? I said I don't want to tell you the information.
Afraid to tell the truth.
And why?
These are taxpayer dollars, so.
So what? So I don't have to tell you the.
We're sick of people defrauding our taxes. This guy received $12.9 million, and right here it says they had 7,899 patients. We then left, and the same guy came downstairs. So we just ran the numbers, and once again we did the math. $12.9 million divided by 7,899, $1.6 thousand per patient, and literally would have been impossible to have 7,000. That's like a small concert. You realize that, right? This money comes straight from Medicaid.
Yes.
Sir, so you technically have a small concert, an arena full of people up in there.
I don't have to tell you that.
That's how much you guys are billing.
Go other daycare.
Billing people for.
Just go for other daycare.
You realize how impossible that is, right? You realize that's literally impossible to have 7.8 thousand people inside of your daycare. You're billing, you received $12.9 million in 2024.
And I'm telling you, stop threatening me.
I'm telling you, stop committing fraud. Sir,
Do something.
is it possible to have 7,000 people on that one floor? Like, that's how simple it is. Just answer the question. After he couldn't answer any of our questions, he then called the cops on us.
Can I call police?
So the fraudster's gonna call the cops on us. You do realize you're calling the cops on yourself, right? So this is how the operation works. They bring him in through the transportation company. They bring him in right through this door into this adult daycare, and then they bill Medicaid. 7,000 people are supposed to fit on that second floor right there. 7,000 people is the size of a small arena. You realize you just called the cops on yourself, right, for committing fraud? Well, I did. $2.9 million, 7,000 patients, they're nowhere to be seen. Dude just snitched on himself. Hello, ma'am. How are you? Does this daycare give kickbacks? Does this daycare pay you to come here?
Yogi.
She just said yes. She just said yeah. She said yeah. God bless you. I love your shirt, USA. She just said they get kickbacks. She said yeah.
Whatever with her then.
Sir, this operation here is pretty crazy. And as we left the daycare, one of the patients wanted us to take a photo of herself. Wow, looks so fancy. You going to daycare?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to daycare at Sunrise? You go to Sunrise?
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That lady's enrolled into a daycare, but she does not look like she needs to go to a daycare. So you have all these people right now who are enrolled into these daycares, and then because these people receive upwards of $12.9 million, they're able to then give those kickbacks to people just like that lady, for example. Are you enrolled to daycare here?
No.
What do you think about all the fraudsters committing fraud at these daycares?
Hey, listen, I seen you on TV all over the country, man, and I'm really for you, man.
So that building right there, Sunrise Senior Service, they received $12.9 million.
They did?
Yes.
This one?
Yep, for 7,899 adults. It's an adult daycare.
Oh, that's a fraudster then. Yeah, definitely.
Now we're outside of Beautiful Palace Daycare. This place received $9.4 million, and it said it had 8,060 patients, and per patient, that is $1,200. And they spent $8.4 million in adult daycare, and they spent $1 million on transportation. And the thing is, these people are smart. Now that the fraudsters are on high alert, there are actually people inside of these daycares. However, these places are billing for 8,000 patients. It's quite literally impossible to have 8,000 patients inside of these buildings. As you enter, you can see your tax dollars at work as Koreans are using it to play board games and play bingo inside of an adult daycare. So let's see if we can enroll Debbie into some daycare. My name is Nick. We're coming through. We just put over at Sunrise Senior Daycare, and we've been going to a few of the daycares around here trying to look for the best one possible for our grandma Debbie.
Oh, will you look? I'm becoming busy right now. So will you do the service for the adult daycare? Or?
No, we're looking for a good one for our grandma potentially.
Oh, but I think we don't accept the new member, right?
No members? Why not?
Yeah, yes, because we have enough. Yes.
How many do you guys have? It says you guys have 8,000 patients here.
No.
Around 8,000?
No, who say that?
HHS. Yeah, we're looking for potential places for our grandma that aren't fraudulent.
I mean, if you're looking for your potential.
Because this comes from the public HHS Medicaid provider spending data set.
We don't have that one.
But $9.4 million.
Sorry. Okay.
Do you guys have 8,000 patients?
No.
No. Did you guys bill for 8,000 patients in 2024?
No, that's too much. No.
Yeah, it is a lot, right? $9.4 million.
It's just crazy.
Do you guys receive money from Medicaid?
No. What are you talking about?
Kia creates inspiration that connects the world. Inspiration connects us all.
Today, you don't mind the wait. You've got the all-new Caesars Palace online casino.
No, so this is all self-funded by the
We're doing
elders?
the inspection right now for the insurance company. So if you have any questions, you have the right. I'm so sorry about that.
Did you guys not receive money from Medicaid then?
They don't want to answer the question.
Not me, right?
And remember this guy because we'll be coming back to him later with Dr. Oz. Everyone is on high alert right now. No one can justify the numbers. As we're leaving now, these locations are calling everyone. It's alleged that this has ties with potentially the Chinese mafia, and a lot of this money is being funneled, and no one really knows exactly where it's going to. We do know that fraudsters here in the United States oftentimes are foreigners, and it's oftentimes foreign governments that have infiltrated our government and are taking our benefits to then funnel and take that money to these other countries. And right now, as we are going to these locations that are receiving millions upon millions of dollars, right now in Poly Market, there's an 8% chance that Mandami, the mayor of New York City, will pass the 2% millionaire tax before 2027. All these people that are becoming newfound millionaires, if it passes, are gonna have to start paying an extra 2% on their taxes as well. Kind of interesting perspective. We're outside of Hiroshima Adult Daycare. This place in 2025, it made $7.6 million. And its initial startup was in 2024. So from non-existing in 2023, existing in 2024, and then 2025, it went and made $7.6 million. Here we go. And as we arrived, one of the staff was right there waiting for us.
A little bit over my time.
How are you doing?
This is an important one to get
Waiting
out.
for us? Yeah, nice to meet you, sir. Yeah, is this Hiroshima Adult Daycare? Received $7.6 million in 2025? Not sure. Okay, well, I'd like to enroll my grandma, Debbie. I'd like to enroll my grandma, Debbie. Can I get some paperwork? Business is booming here at the daycare. They have it pumping right now. Got all the elderly out here right now. This place made $7.6 million in 2025.
That's not your business.
It actually is because it's our tax dollars. It's public information from the HHS.
So what?
So what?
Yeah, all this tax?
No, I paid quite a bit of taxes this last year, though.
I don't care. So can you leave?
Would you have a problem with us being here?
Yeah. You guys are like disturbing us.
Oh, I didn't mean to disturb you. I was just asking about our tax dollars.
Why are you asking?
$7.6 million for this daycare. New York Medicaid adult daycare payments from CMS. We're just asking questions about the numbers, sir. But if you don't want to answer, it's all right.
Here, location is 3520 147th Street. Three white guys are here and they are not living. They are disturbing us.
He's calling the cops on us now. We're just asking numbers about the public information. The reason why we're asking these questions is because this is tax dollars. This is New York Medicaid that people pay taxes into, $7.6 million. And I think people are just curious, where is this money going and how's it being spent?
Did you guys talk with Medicaid at all?
Well, this is Medicaid. This comes straight from their numbers.
Yeah, did you talk with them?
We're curious about what the money's going to, so we're coming straight to the source. And if there's nothing to hide, I don't know why you guys just can't answer the questions.
Well, I just don't feel a reason why we need to answer.
And now we're not saying exactly that all these businesses are fraud. However, we are showing you where our tax dollars are going. And when these people do receive $7.6 million, we're just simply asking, why do you guys need that money? And they can't answer any of the questions. It does make you speculate a few things.
Now we were speculative about the fraud on this daycare. However, we then talked to one of the transportation ladies who drives one of the vans, and she says that this daycare is the same one as Sunrise. And they built this daycare because they needed another spot to put the clientele from Sunrise. Fraudulent. So this daycare started in 2024. In its second year in business, they made $7.6 million.
Wow. That explains a lot.
Sunrise Daycare just over there, they made $12.9 million in 2024.
This is Sunrise as well. I guess it's so big that they opened this one too. So these are two daycares. So if the seniors are not here, they're over there.
And so altogether, that place has made upwards of $20 million, whoever is the business owner of Hiroshima and Sunrise Adult Daycare. Whether that's one person or a partner, that's a lot of money within just this one block. That's about $20 million. Now we're outside of B&B Adult Daycare. This location made $5.5 million. That's how much they billed Medicaid, and they averaged 241 beneficiaries per day. On their peak day of business, they had 348 beneficiaries. That comes out at $27,000 paid in one day. That is 5 times above the national average for adult daycare centers. Let's see what kind of operation B&B has going on. And I want to keep in mind, we're not targeting any community or any race, anybody. This is just straight from the numbers that we pulled, and these are the numbers that have the most amount of money and have the most amount of suspicious activity going on. So it has nothing to do with Koreans, Asian community.
So if you tried to put a CD or DVD in your laptop anymore, well, good luck. Because today, they don't come with CD or DVD drive.
This just has something to do with straight up fraud and money that tax dollars are going to. And we're not saying each location is fraudulent. We're just showing you more than anything where our money is going. What do you guys do inside the daycare? What do you do inside the daycares?
Saturday,
In the daycare, what do you do?
I do this.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Speak English?
English and piano and the ping pong, everything.
Wow, it is booming in here. Wow, this location right now is popping. They got this place filled with seniors. We're just going to a lot of the daycares here today. You guys B&B?
Yeah.
Yeah, why are you guys here?
Oh, we're just going through some of the daycares around the area. Can we talk to you guys out here?
Yeah, sure.
Do you work for B&B?
No, he doesn't. But he's our auditor.
I'm an auditor
What he's
of
saying is he knows
healthcare
stuff.
company.
So the auditors are all coming through today. What a coincidence. Annual checkup. What are the odds that the day Nick Shirley shows up to have an annual checkup? The odds of that happening are very, very slim. So you guys received $5.5 million in 2025. In your peak day, you guys have 341.
Told you there's a lot of good stuff out today.
So how come one day you guys had 348 beneficiaries?
I didn't answer.
Fair tonight.
Can you give me
Captain Ron from last night.
We don't need a permit to film.
Captain Kyle.
But do you think there is fraud taking place here inside some of these daycares, ma'am?
Can you give me your ID? Everybody,
Can you give me your ID?
Yes, sir.
Give me your ID.
Yeah. Okay. So give each other your IDs. Give her your ID as well.
Give me your ID first.
No.
So I'm not going to give you my ID. My name's Nick Shirley. I have nothing to hide. For you guys' benefit, it would help if you guys could just answer.
I don't want to benefit.
I don't
What's an
understand what I just said.
What's $5.5 million?
Have a good day. Yeah. Have a good day.
Are you guys committing fraud by chance?
No.
We just want to know what that $5.5 million is being used for. And look, around here you'll see lots of nice cars. Range Rover's pulling up right here. It's strange that you guys receive $5.5 million from Medicaid and can't answer a single question. They're freaking out right now.
When you're done, decide right now. What do you want to do?
You speak English, sir? And nobody speaks English here. Yeah, all of our tax dollars are going to locations just like these. This comes straight from New York Medicaid. And all we're doing is simply asking where the money is going, because this is straight from New York Medicaid, but nobody will be able to answer any of our questions. Hello, ma'am. Do you want to answer any questions? $5.5 million went to this location. Yeah, they can't even answer a single question.
Bro, love your video.
Oh, thank you very much.
Really
appreciate it.
What are you doing over here?
We're checking out these adult daycares.
Oh, they're doing it here too?
Yes. What do you think? What do you think about all these adult daycares?
It's crazy.
This place, for instance, right here, B&B, they received $5.5 million.
Chico's awake with his nap.
I'm serious.
Okay?
I don't know, bro. There's a lot of them. I'll say that.
You think your tax dollars should be going to fund old people paying cards?
Probably not. No.
Right here in this street, there's another daycare. Silvertown Daycare has this entire plaza. This is the daycare right here. And it's more just like a cafeteria than anything. Looks like some people are coming out. What's your take on all the daycares popping up here in this part of Flushing, Queens? Do you think it's unnecessary?
What is this for?
Oh, we're just doing a documentary on all the daycares. Do you think fraud is taking place inside the adult daycare industry here?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. But
are you committing fraud?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. So let's say you guys aren't committing fraud, but these other daycares are. What kind of fraud do you think they are committing? And do you think some seniors do receive kickbacks for going to some of the daycares?
There are rumors, but there's no, concrete, anything concrete, proof or evidence.
Does this daycare pay you to come here?
Yogi.
Do you notice a lot of these adult daycares popping up around here?
I'm running for assembly, actually.
And what do you think about all the adult daycares here?
I know that they all steal money. I mean, that's just part of politics. So 100% there.
And you, as you live around this area, what kind of rumors do you hear about the fraud that does take place? How does it work?
Well, the thing is that social services are supposed to be for the residents. It's supposed to be for the retirees, the elderly, right? And there's only a certain number of social services available for those that require it. But because there's so much money involved, because the money is just coming from the government and it's not accounted for, then of course they're going to be taking it. And all it does is it takes it away from the taxpayers, the elderly, the retirees. Those are the people that are affected. And those are the people that are left out because they don't have a voice. The elected political dynasties that have been running Queens and New York for so long, they're held to their donors. And the people that donate to them are these NGOs and special interests, which then they funnel the money back into them. And that's really the problem.
Keeps the cycle going. So there's a never-ending cycle of fraud that takes place here because, for instance, right here, the transportation companies just pulled up. They receive money from the daycare. They also then bill out the pharmacies that are around the block and then the durable medical equipment companies. And then on top of that, that money gets funneled back into the politicians' campaigns and they can continue to push their agendas.
Yeah, and there's no oversight, right? There's no way to check any of this fraud, but they write it in such a way legally to where technically it's not, you know what I mean? But it's not raw, it's not right, you know, and that's the issue.
Outside of this daycare, we got a Mercedes, we have an M3 BMW right here. Lots of nice cars rolling around these daycares. Got a Porsche right there, another Porsche right there. Here at Living Well Daycare, this place received $8.6 million in 2025.
Aldi doesn't pay for cart wranglers, and those savings go to you.
Hey, Meta, take a picture.
And they're the largest payee among a lot of these Flushing daycares. In fact, they average 271 beneficiaries per day. Their peak day of business, they had 406 beneficiaries, and on that day of business, they made $41,580. That is 5.6 times the national average. Let's go see what kind of business they're operating. And Living Well received $8.6 million in 2025. And on their peak day of business, they billed the state for 406 beneficiaries. My name's Nick Shirley.
No, we don't need any survey.
And sir, could you just answer the questions? No. So we just come straight with the facts and they start running. And $8.6 million in 2025. Flushing, Queens is full of adult daycare businesses that I believe are operating fraudulently. None of them will answer any questions, and we're coming straight with the facts, straight from the data sets that are public for all of you to see.
Now, what's crazy about this fraud here in New York City is that adult daycares is actually only a small percentage of the fraud. The home healthcare industry is filled with fraud, from the pharmacies to the durable medical equipment companies to the home healthcare agencies that operate. Now we're going to be diving deep into each one of these, and they all include dollars from your taxes. Now, this is exactly how big of an industry it is here inside of New York City.
In New York City, in 2018, they billed $3.5 billion. However, in 2024, it is now costing $11.5 billion, and that number is only growing. So we have some locations here. We've arrived, and here at this building, Red Sun Home Care has billed the government $87.9 million from 2018 to 2024. And in 2024, they billed the government $17.2 million. And just in 2024, they had 122,000 claims. And since 2018, they've had over 674,000 claims. And what's really crazy about this is they're billing all of this off of one service, off of one code. 99.86% of their $87.9 million in revenue comes from one service, from one code. The number is extremely, extremely high. Let's see what happens. Here we are in Red Sun. Hello. How are you doing? Is this in Korean or Chinese?
Chinese.
Chinese. Yeah, we have some questions about Red Sun Home Care. Yes, for instance, in 2024, billed over $17 million, and there's 122,000 claims. Could we speak to someone? Hello, how's it going? Good. We're just doing some digging around here inside of Flushing and inside of just New York City in general with some of the excessive billing of home care. And it says here, for instance, there's been $87.9 million in revenue off of one code. 99.86% of all that revenues come from one code, one service. What's the main service you guys provide?
I don't know where you get that info from.
Oh, it's straight from the databases that the government has. HHS. Yeah, the HHS, Health and Human Services, and CMS.
20 more minutes?
It's public data. Because you guys receive public funds from taxpayers, so that information's then left public. Does that sound about right?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what is that. What's your organization?
My name's Nick.
Yeah.
Nick Shirley. But so like, what's the Nick Shirley from Nick Shirley? I work by myself. What's the main service you guys provide?
I cannot answer you.
You guys do, well, I mean, 99% of all your services come from one code. Can we talk to somebody? So this is the operation of a company that's received over $87 million in the past 6 years. This is for home care, but they're billing off of one code. They wouldn't give us any clarification on what they actually do. So your tax dollars are going to a location that doesn't even want to answer the questions about where $89 million went off of one code. Kind of crazy. Inside of this area of New York City, you'll notice that there's these kind of buildings that pop up everywhere. They're called pharmacies, and they actually also share with another LLC that's called a DME, a Durable Medical Equipment Company. So this location right here, this one location, they have registered JD Drugstore and JD Plus Pharmacy. So one of those is actually a DME company, and then one's a pharmacy. And what they do is they work together to then work also with like the adult daycares, the home care systems around the area, and they send them to a location like this to provide them services and equipment that they actually don't need. And the Medicaid and Medicare wheel continues to spin and spin and spin because it's a never-ending revolving door between the adult daycare centers, the home care centers, these durable medical equipment companies, the transportation companies, and it's just one big flywheel that keeps it all running. And right here in this location, they're operating 2 companies that receive money from Medicaid and Medicare inside of one location. Let's see what's going on. So whether this is a place where they store it or they send out the payments, the problem with these locations is that a lot of fraud is committed by people like the adult daycares who then send orders into this location and they actually only provide the equipment. So it creates this whole entire operation where people are saying we need this and we need that. However, they actually don't need this or that. And on average, these locations make anywhere from $2 to $8 million according to CMS industry standards. So it's safe to say a location like this is making around $4 million a year. So here inside of these residential apartment complexes, we have some DME companies, durable medical equipment companies that receive money from New York Medicaid. And it's a bit fishy that they're operating inside of these residential apartment complexes. So we're going to see what's going on. We have Premier, Lifeline, and Next Gen. They're all operating out of one apartment. Let's see what's going on.
We are strong. We come back.
Down to the end, you guys.
We push forward.
Hello. How's it going, ma'am? My name is Nick. Is Premier DME here?
DME?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Here, 3 durable medical equipment companies were launched within just a few months apart here, and that takes money from Medicaid and Medicare services. And so we're wondering, like, where's the equipment at?
Actually, I don't know.
But so do you guys not have any of the equipment here?
No, I don't have any.
So how come your husband has this address registered as the location for 3 different companies that receive money from Medicaid for durable medical equipment?
I don't know. He's coming maybe like half hour. I don't know. Actually,
Do you know what kind of equipment he sells?
No, we don't have. Not at home. We have a job. We go to job. I don't have any equipment.
But does he sell durable medical equipment?
I don't know. At home, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't have anything.
These durable medical equipment companies are full of fraud. I met up with Dr. Oz, who is the head administrator of CMS, Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services, to go deep into the fraud in this sector of New York City. From the daycares, pharmacies, durable medical equipment companies, this place is full of fraud, and Dr. Oz is going to dive deep into it with me and also even confront some of the fraudsters themselves. Be prepared to learn a lot.
Inside of this apartment complex, one apartment alone, there is 3 DME companies operating out of one apartment. Is that even possible? And it says that these places can make about $2 to $8 million a year.
Well, first off, was there anything in the apartments when you went to it?
Absolutely nothing. There was a mom and her children, and the husband was out.
It's almost certainly fraud. First off, it's $2 to $8 million a month, believe it or not. When they really get to scale, they may just be at that number now, but these guys grow like vermin. very quickly. There's twice as many durable medical suppliers in South Florida than McDonald's because it's easier to open one than a bank account. And the person named in the account is never the person who actually owns the business. In South Florida, the Cuban government's involved. I don't know where these guys are getting their money to go, but they're definitely shipping it somewhere. And that's why I get very nervous about foreign governments getting entangled in this. But to open 3 in one apartment makes no sense, especially when there's no product there. All you're doing is gaming the system. And the fact that we didn't audit it, didn't catch it, didn't stop it, and they're probably out there making money infuriates me and should bother folks out there because it's your tax dollars paying for this.
So it's literally impossible for someone to be operating a durable medical equipment company inside of an apartment.
Inside an apartment with no goods and 2 other durable medical equipment suppliers, that's a major red flag, the kind you walk in the battle with.
So 3 LLCs inside of one apartment, and Dr. Oz has confirmed that that's not impossible.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that?
We then headed over to a daycare that had a pharmacy on one side and another medical facility on the other side, which goes to show the perfect example of a location that uses an adult daycare to carry out other forms of fraud.
And so they might be working together. Often that's the case. One of the clues we have is if the social adult daycare center is running a lot of other businesses, a good example might be they're doing transportation. And so it makes us concerned. So this one was actually shut down, the original one, and didn't take long for another one to sprout right up again. This facility was shut down, back up again. It makes you wonder if the person that you went after was really the appropriate culprit, because maybe they're just, the frontline guy who's doing the beckoning of the boss. The minion here is following the orders of the Don. And when the Don says, okay, you're out of business, you move on to some other endeavor, I'll take care of you. Let's put new people in place of it. It's very hard for law enforcement to catch up. The big issue with these centers is not that they're providing social adult daycare, is that it's a clubhouse for criminals. It allows these folks who are running these centers to pull together a bunch of seniors who might be innocent, walk in there, and they say, listen, I'll give you a little side cash. Let me have that number that you have, that's your insurance card, and I'm going to use that as a credit card against the government. I'm going to charge New York State, who's going to then charge the federal government. All that money launders through the system, gets cleaned up in different ways, and it builds a massive criminal enterprises. This business entity, this social adult daycare center, which I'm pretty sure none of your listeners have ever heard of, right? It generated $2.5 billion over the last 3 years in New York State, of which almost all, 2.1 billion, was right here in Flushing, Queens, and Brooklyn next door, and the surrounding areas. You go 10 miles to Long Island from here, doesn't exist, doesn't happen. So if you're me, and I'm supposed to protect the federal tax dollars, it makes me very concerned. Something's wrong when all the money's spent in one place, and the problem is it's now starting to metastasize. This bad idea, the fraud, is starting to spread.
Because it's not like adults just live in one spot here in New York City. So if you have highly concentrated adult daycares only in Flushing, Queens, or in Brooklyn, for instance, and then you shut down a business and then it pop back up underneath a different name or different person, you haven't actually got the guy who's on top, because they're just using, like you said, the minions to then carry out the efforts of the top level fraudster.
The reason this even got on my radar is because of what you're saying. You realize there are much bigger powers at play. And the reason I started thinking that, and I think a lot of others are now also sort of wondering the same questions I'm having, is how is it possible we let this happen? Is this really a flaw in the system, or is it a feature? Are there good things that might happen if you're running government if you have this kind of fraud? So in this case, these guys bring together all the seniors. They say, here's the deal. I'm going to give you some money, but I want you to pretend like you're getting personal care services at home. Now, personal care services, remember, these are things your family would do for you, right? So let's just say, for example, that you've got someone carrying the groceries for you, or driving you to an office, or taking care of some issues your family would normally manage for you. It's hard to police that. But what it does do is it creates jobs. So now all of a sudden you've got basically the federal government hiring people to take care of all the people who come out of here. And all those services, although the state initially pays for them, the federal taxpayer picks up the tab. That's who pays the ultimate bill. And now you have a jobs program. Listen carefully. The most common job in the state of New York by twofold is personal care services that are hired when you go to one of these programs. Think about that. Twice as many jobs as any in the entire state are created by personal care services, and now they're unionizing those folks, which now creates a separate flow of money. Union dues translate into political support, so it's basically political patronage, and that should be illegal.
Yeah, so these people are really just taking and looting from federal dollars and state dollars as well.
Which puts some numbers on it. When Medicaid, the state, for example, that runs this program, it's paid for by New York state dollars, but they get 2/3 of the money back from the federal taxpayer, which means if you're watching right now from New Mexico, Mississippi, Texas, Florida, even Illinois and California, if you're watching from there, you're helping to pay for this. Congratulations. You own a little bit of the business. You look around here, not to be specific, because it could be any ethnic group, but this area seems to be overwhelmingly ethnic Chinese. They're very insular. They're very much proud of their heritage. They speak the same language, same cultures. They hang with each other. They don't want to tell on each other. I was actually walking through the streets here, and a charge nurse of mine from Columbia, where I practiced for many years, I'm a professor there. This woman is tough as nails. And she ran up to me and she was so happy to see me. And then she noticed folks around me, with guns. She said, "Why are you here?" I said, "I'm looking at these social adult daycare centers." Abject fear. I mean, panic. She says, "You have to leave now. I can't be seen with you." And she ran away, which means that people they both are living in fear because there's actual danger here. This is also, by the way, the hub of human trafficking in the eastern part of the country. But it also means that these kinds of businesses are worth fighting over. And that's why it's not easy to take them out.
We then headed into one of the adult daycares and we started asking people about the activities that they do.
Play ping pong.
Do you like playing ping pong here? Yeah. Do you think taxpayers should pay for you to play ping pong?
On top of government ping pong, we're also paying for government-funded Tai Chi classes for the elderly Koreans.
So right now we have some people doing some Tai Chi over here. Our tax dollars are paying for old people to do Tai Chi here inside of New York.
So you might wonder, is that the best use of dollars, or are we better off paying for life-saving treatments in hospitals? And the whole concept, this is again, decades ago, but it's now become a feverish pitch, is pay for people so they stay out of the hospital, don't pay for them to go in the hospital. That makes perfect sense in theory. Mm-hmm. But when reality meets the road, sometimes it's ugly. You get roadkill. And unfortunately, we're not paying for services that historically people would do in their own homes. Somebody would actually open up their home and let people dance in there. Instead, we've now weaponized this funding stream, and now we're building a lot of these social adult daycare centers. And it allows folks who are illegitimate to take control. And I think that's the wrestling match we're having right now in our country. Should we be paying for things we can't monitor, that are unlicensed, unsupervised? Now, how do you grade if the Tai Chi is taught well, so you know whether to pay for it?
Meanwhile, there's a mother struggling to pay her medical bills. Meanwhile, there's someone doing Tai Chi here inside of Flushing, Queens, in an industry that receives $2 billion of taxpayer funds.
Just here, just in this, within a few miles of where we are in Flushing. It's not even the whole state of New York. And you go to other parts of the country, they don't really use these that much. But what if they did? What if all of a sudden every part of the country, including rural America, where 60 million people live, but don't do any of these things because they go to their neighbor's home and do it? What happens if they all start doing it? Very soon, that part of the healthcare bill grows, and guess who pays for it? You. It comes out of your pocket. You pay your tax dollars. And you don't have a choice because it's part of the federal tax. And then everyone says, well, taxes are too high, or we don't have enough money for healthcare. No, we have enough money for high quality care. So I'm going to blow your mind. You ready? Hold on tight. Double-digit number of pharmacies. How many pharmacies do you need on this little strip of terrain in Flushing? Come on, I'll show you this. You can't even believe this is true unless you see it. There's a strip there. There are more than half a dozen pharmacies, back to back to back. The question is, how many pharmacies do you need back to back to back to back? Now, if I was running a restaurant, I might think about it because it's, a food court. This is like a pharmacy court. So you got one here.
One right there.
Number two, another pharmacy. Again, the question becomes, how many do you actually need? Another pharmacy. I'm losing track, but there's
now
more.
We're at 4.
Yeah, it's like a game show.
So right here we have another adult daycare. Look
Across
at this.
the street.
Across the street.
And again, more pharmacies.
More pharmacies.
I mean, after a while, you start to realize something's not right. And then you actually look at the books, the finances, which is my job, and we see billions of dollars being spent on social adult daycare, which it seems inconceivable. The spot we just walked into, they have 15 people. He says they see 25 people a day. What if I could run a business that made millions of dollars and seeing 15, 25 people not doing anything except playing, video games and mahjong and some yoga?
And another adult daycare right there.
Yep. After a while, it's almost clutters your mind to mention more. There's more pharmacies.
Another pharmacy right there. Yeah, another one right there. Another pharmacy right here.
Come on. We're double digits now. It's like the kids in the back of the seat pointing out the obvious. Everywhere you look, there's something having to do with healthcare. And what again is mind-blowing is there is no way you would build a facility, a street and think you'd have more than 10 pharmacies on it. I don't think you go anywhere in America and think that was normal unless there was a cash cow business that was feeding into it, which again raises our concerns that there's something that doesn't meet the eye. And look around, these folks tend to be.
It could be the last commercial.
Here's the pitch. Whoa, he caught all of that one.
From China and Korea. They don't want us here. We're from the outside. They don't share our culture. Getting these folks to talk to us about what is going on here has been really difficult.
We have another pharmacy.
Of course.
And essentially, all you need is a medical beneficiary number, and that is worth more than any credit card that a senior can give anybody.
Some of the drugs in these pharmacies cost more than a car. Think about that.
The lady from the pharmacy actually was a fan of Dr. Oz, and she said that a lot of people come into her pharmacy asking her, what does she give?
Now, why do those other pharmacies open up there? They're all over the place.
I have no idea. But they are doing something funny and just doing what we're supposed to.
Explain to me what funny means. I mean,
I don't want a customer coming in and asking, what do you give? We don't give anything except for the service.
What do the other people, do they ask for like money or kickbacks in exchange for?
Yes, they do. But we don't do that. We don't do that.
How do they?
So it hurts people like you who are operating a business legally, and then you have other people who are taking advantage of the system, and now you have elderly coming in asking for kickbacks or money in exchange for medicine.
Do you want us to stop the fraud? It's a simple question. Would it be better for you if the bad actors stopped taking kickbacks and bribing patients and working with the social adult daycare?
Yeah, of course.
Guess who's destroying these businesses? The fraudsters down the road. If we don't take out bad people, they hurt good people. Not taking out evil is itself evil.
I then took Dr. Oz to beautiful Palace Daycare, which had received over $9.4 million last year alone. And at this daycare, they were all scrambling to try and cover up the fraud.
Give me a rough idea. How many patients do you see here, do you think, a day?
That's per day?
Yes.
Today?
Yeah.
We have the registered already, but hold on. I have a phone call. Sorry.
Well, just give me a quick idea, because I think
Sure.
there's no one reading.
No, the 40 information. Today, I'm not sure because you need
Just on average.
Yeah. Average 50.
50.
We have 2 shifts. Yeah, 50 per shift.
Would it even be possible for you guys to have 8,000 different patients?
8,000?
Yes.
8,000 patients?
Yes.
Actually, I have no idea for that number.
Would it be possible to have 8,000 patients here?
8,000 patients here when? I'm not sure.
Throughout the year.
Last year.
Actually, I don't know. I have no idea for that.
Would it be possible for you guys who run this daycare to handle 8,000 different patients in 1 year? Theoretically.
Who owns the business?
The boss, the owners, I'm not sure. Yeah.
You must know who owns the business.
We just have the managers and the owners. I really don't know.
Have you ever met the owners?
No, not yet.
Who's managing the business?
The director is the ladies. But I really don't know about that one.
You don't know who employs you?
No. I just hired them last month.
Well, who hired you?
The managers too.
And how long have you all been working here?
A month.
All a month? What happened to people who were here before last month?
I have no idea.
They all left?
Yeah.
Why would everybody leave in 1 month?
You mean the patient or the members?
The people working here. If you all started last month.
The staff.
The staff.
When I came here, I just met them, and they are already set up. So I really don't know about that.
And did you all started working here last month?
It's not. This lady and that lady's not like more than 1 month.
So it sounds like you guys got a whole new staff here. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Have a good day.
sure.
Some major red flags right there. All the people have just started working there in the past month, they said.
I mean,
their past employees
the entire
left.
The entire front office is last month, or it's not what's happening. Some of these things we won't be able to check on. But if you're bringing all new people in, there's a problem. They don't know really who their manager is. They don't have any idea who the owner is. In fact, they're a little scared of even talking about the fact that there's an owner. And they weren't willing to acknowledge that 8,000 patients. I mean, that was a great question. How do you get 8,000 patients through this door here a year? Impossible. They admitted it.
people don't want to say who the owner is, mainly because they don't know it, and that also helps us confirm, like, yeah, is this like some sort of mafia that's running this whole entire ring around here? Because they don't even know who their employer is.
That's a question everyone should be asking themselves. If I worked in a business, I would pretty quickly learn who was the actual owner. I'd know the manager. If the whole front office was hired that month, I'd be a little concerned. And yet they seem to be playing cards with each other and exchanging winks and glances and, tipping each other off that they shouldn't be going any further. And they had no interest in you looking at the facility, which is another red flag, because if you're proud of the facility, you'd brag on it. You wouldn't pretend you were seeing. They made up a number of 50 patients a day, which I don't think that's possible. I only saw one table back there, like 6 people at it.
All right, you guys. What a big video that was. Oh. So the 2 Billies we got caught up on. We got Mel today. We got Nick Shirley. I'll probably do one Nick or Captain Kyle's an hour, and then the rest I'll do the short videos tonight. But we got one more. I'm not gonna be able to get those other 2. I want to get Captain Kyle one from last night. So we'll get something to eat here, and then I'll be back at 6 o'clock. We'll go 6 to 8, hopefully. A lot of good stuff. All right, so we will see you. Yep, Andy, a lot of them. Thanks, Raj, Kay, Michael, Carol, Mr. Jim. Carol must have been busy today. And yeah, we'll see you back at 6. Have a good afternoon, and then God bless everybody. Love all. Please like, if you think this is wrong, get the faith. Never give up. Signing off, Chico News for July 11th. Still no breaking news out yet. Sure, it's been a quiet day. All right, we'll see you guys in Chico News. We'll see you about 6 o'clock.